Hi there, everybody. Wow, I just realized that my camera is low. Friggin' jeez, it's always something. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Play Dicely. Now I'm going to fix that camera. Oh, and it fixed itself. Well, that's good.
Woohoo!
Go like that, and voila!
Hello.
Oh my goodness. It's been so long, everybody.
It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah.
Truly.
Also, for the people in the stream, hopefully it's not the case, but let me know if my audio is clicking. I've been trying to fix this audio thing, and it apparently, I hope it's unfortunate, but I think it might only be clicky for the players this evening. But yeah, so just let us know how our audio is doing out there, and hopefully things are good, because sounds good for Colonel Fizz, so
Thanks, Fizzy.
excellent. My
That's
goodness,
a great
yeah.
username.
Perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like all the Dungeon Select people are here too.
Yeah.
Hey, Dungeon Select crew.
Select.
For anybody who does not know the Dungeon Select community, they also run a live D&D game, which they're going to be starting their second campaign like this coming month or maybe next month, but soon. You should go give them a follow. Oh dear, I have not. Oh my goodness, so many things to do, and I have not done any of them. Hold on. I need to initiate
Story of my life.
commands. Holy.
Been a while.
But in the meantime, like as far as I'm aware, they're doing these like one-offs on Sundays, and they're unveiling the character art for their players on each of these days. And my goodness, that first art they put out, it's so good. And now I need to
They
find
put the second one out today. It also looks really good.
Oh, I haven't seen it
Oh,
yet.
I haven't seen it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was
Gonna
watching
look
the
at it.
stream
I'm just
earlier.
gonna go on Twitter really rudely right now. I hope that's good.
That's okay, because I'm also trying to do Twitch things. Let's see. There we go. That's the one.
They haven't tweeted it yet. You had to be watching the stream.
Oh shoot!
Oh.
Well, that's on me.
I missed that part. I was watching the stream earlier.
I'm sorry. I was busy.
Well, for anybody in the chat there's a link to go on over to their Twitch, and yeah, give them a follow. They are lovely folks, and they're one of the groups that inspired me to start this kind of thing. So it's they're a fantastic community. Yeah. Does anybody here have any announcements before we get going this evening? I'll take that as a lot of
No.
no's.
Let's get in this.
As per usual, thank you to Tabletop Audio for supplying a lot of the music that you'll be hearing tonight, and for Stream Deck for also supplying some music and sound effects. So, where we left off last time, let me just get myself... Oh my gosh, I'm so out of practice. All right. So, where we left off, the party had been on their way to Balesville, and with the objective of heading to Valenbridge afterwards. There was a bit of tension rising as Gideon had shared that this was his hometown, and he hadn't visited there for years due to some past events. After stopping by train construction and dealing with an attack by outlanders, and discovering some odd behind the scenes situations going on. That one of them had been from a different affiliated with a different faction, and they had a letter that had this symbol on it, and it instructed them to return to Balesville. So there was some connection there. Continuing on to Balesville after antics of dealing with the aftermath of Abe's rage and Nell turning a horse into a giant duck, the party continued on to Balesville, where things just didn't seem... They seemed nice, but they didn't seem normal. And eventually they came across this paper that was suggesting that they go check out this secret meeting for what ended up being this kind of rebellion against the Ascendancy. And they headed off into the forest to this lone cabin where Azariah split off from the party and infiltrated this secret meeting, to where we leave off now with Azariah surrounded by plenty of Ascendancy citizens and a local folk hero from the Desolation, a very old dwarf named Kardrak Mithrilcoat. So, let's... You know what? I should have brought... What? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, nothing. Just that their initials were KM. Very suspicious.
And
Too suspicious.
we had left off on a rainy night, and the raindrops were falling upon the leaves of this forest canopy above the majority of you. Before we get going too far, could I have Elwyn Woodfallow roll an insight check for me?
Why would I do that?
Why, indeed?
Yeah, I sure can. 20 insight.
20 insight. Okay. Now, this is the
Very
part
insightful.
I should have talked to you guys about earlier, but I was doing fixing tech problems. Could I have everybody except for Azariah just kind of take your headphones off?
I hate this.
And
Oh.
we'll signal you when to come back.
What are you even talking about right now?
Who's this dress?
What? I thought this was an Azariah kind of day. What's happening?
All right. So Azariah and I are going to have a bit of a scene here. So inside this wooden log cabin that you and your party had approached, inside there were several people. There were humans, dwarves, and as I'd kind of mentioned at the end of the last session, there's this very old, and I don't think I nailed just how old he was. Like this dwarf has this like silver hair that's beginning to wire and fray, and his eyes are quite sunken, like he's gonna be in his early 300s, which is basically on death's door. He's got this dark leather, almost not quite armor, but it's got a bit of padding to it, and he walks with this cane. And though he is incredibly old, only like in the aesthetic of him is this age showing. Like his posture is very strong, and the way he speaks to the people in this room, and the room being this like logged cabin, this roaring fire in the fireplace, the hearth behind him, he basically is a silhouette standing amongst this group of about 20 or so people. And he continues with his speech to these citizens. So, we are staging rebellion. The Ascendancy has no proper claim to any of this. We fought in the Battle of Burlbar for the freedom of everything. And what do we get? Ancestral lands. Our rights to them have been stripped. And the dwarves in the room like, hurrah, because there's this sense that they'd already talking about Burlbar. And this has been a big contention point for the dwarves in the Ascendancy. And not forget that years ago, when we were figuring out this system, they introduced this poll tax. How absurd is it to have to pay to get your voice heard in who represents you? Not my kind of living. The resources that were accommodated should have gone to building and expanding, and yet we sent so much off with these starborn folk to just do who knows what. D&R and other Ascendancy-affiliated companies, who knows if they're paying their taxes? And, not to mention, we're basically bankrupt because they had to take a huge loan from Lodothrin. So now we're in the pocket of elves, which, fuck the royals of the elven cities. I am a free dwarf, and I imagine all of you are also looking to be free. And there's just like this rapturous applause, and for the folks outside, even they hear this. And Logan, at this point, Elowen lets you know that somebody's listening in on your telepathic connection.
Oh, do I?
I told you not to put your headphones on.
Me?
Yeah, everybody except for Azariah.
You said Azariah and Elowen, didn't you?
No. Well, Azariah or
All right.
Elowen, you'll know that that's going to happen.
Okay. I'll pop these out now.
Oh, well. And oh dear, getting my train of thought back here. And this very old dwarf begins kind of pointing around the room. What is it you're fighting for? And a human man says, well, I think that the leadership should be in the hands of the laborers. Like, it doesn't make sense for the people who don't have to lift a finger to be in rule. And everybody kind of nods and claps and agrees. He points to somebody else. And what are you fighting for? And a dwarf says, I hope to get back the places of our people. Because we have a right to our homes. And again, more of this nodding and applauding. And he points to Azariah. And what are you fighting for?
Similar to the dwarf, while a different home, to have my home back.
Can I have you make a persuasion or a deception check, depending on how you view what you've just said?
Persuasion, but I'm terrible at this. That shouldn't have had advantage, but 14.
14. Let's see here.
You know who's not good at talking?
So, you say that, and he kind of, he doesn't move past you. He stares at you for a good 10 seconds and looks to a couple of the people in the room and nods. And they move towards you and grab you by the arms. What do you do?
I was like, well, very welcoming group. I guess Flavius was wrong. And it's like, let them take me.
And when you say that, Kardrak's eyes kind of widen in a bit of a shock. And then he kind of regains his composure. You're not ascendancy, are you?
How many folks like me have you seen in the Ascendancy?
No, you're right, because you're elf. You're fae.
Kind of wrong about the elf too, but good try. So do other people recognize him as Kardrak Mithrilcoat? Knowing who he is?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
18.
Yeah, you get the sense that they're aware of who he is, and they kind of look upon him like a folk hero.
Yeah. And then, so just trying to figure something out. Like, he didn't fight in the Battle of Brulbar, though, correct?
Make a history check for me.
Like having been there?
Make it with
24.
advantage. Sorry, what'd you get?
Roll another history. 24, but if, 24 is the higher of the two numbers.
The story of Kardrak Mithrilcoat's involvement in the Battleboro Bar is a rather confusing one. There are people who claim they saw him, but it was like the ghost of him. Like this spectral entity that led an army of ghosts across the battlefield. Some people say that those who claim this are just out of their minds. Like their brains have been ravaged by the battle, and it's just ludicrous. There's no way. But you were there. You saw the fight.
And I'm like, and, a very bold claim of a dwarf to talk about the Battle of Brule Bar who didn't even step foot in it.
His eyes furrow, and like people in the room are just like gasping, and they kind of whisper to each other. And Kardrak looks about the room, and he nods to the two that have you by the arms, and they kind of kick you in the back of the knee to get you onto the floor on your knees.
Yeah. I'll fall down.
And
Well, to everyone else there, I was like, look at, I came here peacefully. I haven't done anything. And he's just a bully. I don't think he cares about the workers and stuff. He just has a chip on his shoulder.
in the middle of your sentence, he takes this cane that he had, and from it draws this sword out and points it at you, not saying a thing. And then there's a bit of a pause. And have another insight check for me. That's okay. Mine was worse. And there was like a moment of like growing aggression in his eyes, and then a change in his demeanor that almost looked like he was listening to somebody else. He sheathes the sword and looks about the room. Well, if none of you want to be captured this evening, we better call this meeting here. And he looks at you. You're known to me. And he begins leaving through the back door. And that's where... Is there anything you'd like to do before I switch back over to the rest of the party?
Knowing that someone's listening in to me and Elowen, I don't think so.
Okay. Everybody else, can I have you put your headphones back on? Hopefully everybody kind of gets that. Hello
Hey,
again, everybody.
Sorry,
What's up,
nothing's
sir?
right.
What's happening?
What's
I wasn't.
What's going on?
We weren't goofing off. I'm a professional. Oh,
Oh, boy. So, going back to a few minutes earlier, the rest of you are
we're all
standing...
dead.
The rest of you are standing outside in the darkened forest. And the glow of an oil lamp on the front porch and the light coming out of the window. And you're all just standing there waiting in the darkness. What are you all up to? And Elowen, you are keeping in contact with Azariah, so you do hear a lot of the information that we did previously discuss.
I'm probably just like scanning the woods, scanning the front door, just like ready to act if anything happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nell, I'll have you make a perception check for me then.
Can I help her with that?
No, because you do not have dark vision.
You're right.
You're blind.
That's a 14.
Okay. What is everybody else up to?
I'm gonna roll a
Don't worry,
quick.
I'll get to your result, Christy.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just concerned about
I'm
what's
just-
happening.
Probably
I'm just gonna
trying to
roll a quick wisdom saving throw. Just give me a minute.
Yep.
No reason.
Okay.
I think Drac would probably be like staying close to Elwyn, knowing that she has this, psychic connection, and just every once in a while being like, "What's going on?"
Okay.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was probably just hanging out in the bushes, keeping an eye on the house. If Nell's kind of watching behind us, I'll keep an eye on what's going on up there.
You know what? That's a good point. Are you guys just still standing in the middle of the trail, or have you moved off the path, like hiding in the woods?
I thought we were hiding in the woods.
I imagine we're hiding. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, in the bushes maybe.
Yeah. It's dark. I mean, I don't think we have to do anything crazy, but just kind of crouch in some bushes.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be fine.
So Gideon, you got a 14 on that wisdom save.
Yep.
So what's going on with you?
Gideon, he's been pretty shaken since we arrived here, and he's been fighting off various things in his own head, and the fight persists.
Okay. Elwyn, there's this. It's been a while since you've been in a forest. And now that you've all kind of moved off the path and huddled into these trees, it's just dark, it's cold, and the rain keeps coming down. And as you're tuned into this conversation with Azariah, you kind of realize this environment is a bit more unsettling than you'd anticipated when you were moving in here. And the trees nearby, just these darker silhouettes amongst the already dark night, though, with dark vision. They kind of move out from you, these pillars of gray, of black, and it almost feels like the forest is beginning to move. The trees are shifting, kind of in your periphery. And then you're kind of brought back to when this conversation with Azariah that you're having, it just feels like there's suddenly another presence. What do you do?
What?
Nothing says anything. It just feels like this conversation of two is now three.
I guess I'll say kind of in my head, like, is there someone else here?
The applause
And Rhea can
inside
hear
the
this as well, I guess,
house.
because I'm saying it.
The applause inside the house erupts as clearly there was this crescendo of conversation.
So, Rhea?
Do you respond, Rhea?
Okay, cool.
I like.
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have my
yes?
sword drawn.
Yeah. Azariah, you were going to say something.
Yeah. Just hearing Elwyn's panic, I'm just like, I'm okay.
Okay, you gotta answer me. That's the whole point of doing this thing.
And Nell, the perception check you had made, you're watching the forest around you, and these trees. You're very familiar with a forested environment, and just the sound of the water droplets falling off of the leaves as they fall to the forest floor. And amongst it, and Drac, you hear this too, just the snap of a twig, something that doesn't match the soundscape properly, and you both look in the direction of where you heard it from. And Nell, you are able to see a humanoid figure sneaking through the forest in the direction of the house. They're wearing full plate armor, and they have a sword drawn. Now that you see this
Can
one,
I tell?
go ahead.
So, can I tell if they're coming towards like us specifically, or just their focus is on the house?
It looks like that they are pointed at the house, and it's like they're not on the trail. They're just kind of sneaking through the woods in that direction. And you notice the one,
Okay.
and you kind of look around, and you notice there are a few other people, similar armors, all heading towards the house. And Drac, you hear footsteps coming up behind the lot of you.
I cast light on my holy symbol, turn around and jump out of the bush at them.
I'm gonna tell Elowen, like, tell Rhea some like people are coming. It's not safe.
I'll pass that along to Rhea.
Maria, you received that?
Is it at this point that the people in the house have been told to like leave?
Yeah, we're getting pretty much to that same point.
But am I still? Do the two people still have their arms on me?
They do.
Okay.
What? Sorry.
Cool, cool,
Arms and
cool, 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 cool.
So, Drac,
Neat.
you whip around with the your amulet, I assume, is what you casted light
Yeah,
on?
cast it on my amulet.
And leaping from the bush, you swirl around to see another of these like heavily armored, like dwarven made human. It's an Arturian knight, and they have their sword drawn. What are you doing here?
Lower. What are you doing here?
You better have a good reason. I don't have to answer to you.
I don't know who you are, so I don't have to answer to you either.
Law enforcement.
Right. Apologies. I was just peeing in this bush, and you scared me.
Make a deception check.
Are the rest of us hidden?
They're
Are we not
or
all
other people right around you.
We're all we're little freaks like that.
Deception, you say?
We're just a little peeker.
Oh. 12.
12, okay. And then the light is actually very blinding, so he actually doesn't see everybody else still off the path in the bushes.
I'm a beacon.
This is a terrible place to urinate. You should leave.
Very well. Good night. And I just start walking past him, kick some dirt into the bush behind me as I do, just to try to like give a sign to my friends. And I'm not going to go far past him. I'm going to like duck behind the next closest tree just to keep an eye on what's happening.
I am so big. There is no
I think I can fit in a bush.
You're fine. I'm not.
So, Drac, make a stealth check to dive back into the bushes with disadvantage because you have a light source.
True. Yeah. Ooh, natural
it's a nightmare.
1.
Oh no.
Are you
Total.
serious? This is a disaster.
Total of 4.
How long have we been playing? This is immediately a problem.
So
It's been about 40 minutes.
So you dive into the bush, and the guard turns back around to see you kind of like just fumble into the bush, and he comes back over.
Sorry, I fell.
Have you been drinking this evening?
No, I do not drink alcohol.
This is a very serious endeavor, sir. You need to leave. And now that he's here, he turns and sees more people illuminated by the light. And he raises his sword in the
Turn the
direction of
light
a lot
off.
of you and kind of quickly.
I turn the light off so he can't see. Because he's human, right?
Yes, he is.
It's a great point.
However, I don't know if the light spell can actually be canceled. Because
I
it's
think
not
you can.
concentration.
Can you not just decide to drop it? that not a thing?
You can
I will check.
decide to drop a concentrated
dismiss
spell.
it. Dismiss it as an action. So I'll
Okay,
use my
great.
action to dismiss it.
Excellent. All right, so the light goes out, and suddenly everyone's just kind of like, "What? Hold, you remain where you are." And just you hear this guy just like spinning around in circles.
I'm going to take the opportunity to dart off into the night.
I think I'm also going to, cast Misty Step and try to move myself like 30 feet further into the woods. Actually, that's a terrible idea, but that is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Kind of, but staying around close to the house. I don't want to go too far from Rhea,
Okay. Yeah.
That's-
but I don't want to be in the same place that guard just saw us all.
What is everybody else up to?
At some point during all of this, can I, like, just in Elowen's head be like, I might need help?
Damn it, Rhea! I just asked. Okay, we've got our own problems right now. How much trouble are you in?
2 troubles.
Is that metric or imperial?
Is it like a sliding scale or?
Okay, I might be able to get in there. Some guards have found us out in the forest. I might be able to get in there if you need me.
It's at this point that the guards have now reached the house, and the lot of you hear just this boom, boom, boom on the front door of the house.
Yeah, those guards.
Everybody inside, keep your hands up. This is an unlawful collection, a gathering, and you are under arrest. Open this
I
door
just want it to be
slowly.
known-
Open this door slowly, and everything will be calm and orderly. Go ahead.
I look to the guy who's, like, has his arms on me. I was like, so you gonna open that door?
Make a persuasion check.
Also, Denny, I want to make it clear that Nell didn't know what to do, so she did not go anywhere. She is fully just kind of has her sword, just trying to look casual in the bush.
Amazing. Okay, you got a 5 in persuasion.
Yep.
He looks at you. You go open it.
Okay. You have to let go of me first, but okay.
They release you.
And I'll, like, dart to the door and go open it. And I'll be like, the leader of them went back into that room over there. Hands up.
And at that moment, the guard kind of takes your arms, brings them behind your back, and I'm going to need you to make a grapple check with me.
I fail. I let him.
All right. You're in handcuffs now. And the guy that's doing your shackles up kind of yells to a bunch of guards that are in the bushes nearby. Around the back. There's others leaving the back way, apparently. And then people begin rushing in through the door as you and this guard are kind of pushed aside, and they begin barking at people. Get down on the ground. Hands behind your head. What is people up to?
Still standing casual in the bush.
I'll tell the guard who has me. I was like, I'll tell you everything. I have not associated with these people. I was actually looking into some weird stuff going on. I'll tell you everything I know, including how these people were involved on an attack that happened down at the train tracks that if you talk to the people there, me and my friend actually helped fend off.
You will indeed tell us whatever you've got. You better not be lying about anything. Come with me.
Who has the note? That's what I say to Elowen. I was like, who has the note? I need it.
I'm sorry. I'm not close to anybody anymore.
I remember Gideon took it off the body, but then gave it, I believe, to either Azariah or Elowen.
Yeah.
I couldn't read it.
I feel like Azariah took it.
Yeah, I think Azariah has it.
Yeah.
Is Azariah being brought out of the building or like visible to those of
Yes.
us in the bushes?
Azariah and the guard
I be
have
like-
been at like the threshold of the door.
Can you just go into my bag? There is a letter in it which at least has their plans that had to do with what was going on at the train tracks.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Oh, I'm so bad at talking. 17!
Hey, that's pretty good.
Sorry, you want me to go what? Into your backpack?
Yeah, there's a note that we found on a dead body of one of the people who attacked the train tracks when we were on our way up. This is kind of why we ended up coming to Balesville. Was to see what was going on because it seemed evil.
I will do this once we get back to back to the jail cells.
Okay.
You can defend yourself there.
Okay.
I think at this point I would drop any pretense that I'm just not
And
here. So I'm just gonna like approach towards Rhea.
I'm just gonna walk out of the bushes too.
And
Do I feel like the majority of the guards have like moved past me, that I've gone the opposite direction trying to be stealthy?
yes.
Then I will double back and stealthily make my way closer to where the house is. Just kind
Okay.
of feeling around.
And so Abe and Nell, you come out of the bushes and approach Azariah and the guard.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I feel like I was truly just standing up right in the bush, so I don't think I was ever like really hiding. But
So I'm not trying to look imposing or anything. I'm just walking up to them.
All right. So you exit the bush, and this human Arturian knight pulls out their sword and points in the direction of the two of you. Halt where you are. What are you doing here?
We are with
you.
them.
we're with them.
Ah, yes, the person who's handcuffed. We are with them.
Yeah, that is suspicious. Not that Drac actually said that, but
Nope. I'm not there yet.
No, I was gonna say like, I just want to help. Something. It seemed like something fucked up was happening here, and we were just waiting to see what was going on.
this is not
It
the
would be
place
more
to talk.
suspicious. Okay.
You will
Yeah.
maintain a distance, and we are heading to the law keeper's office back in Balesville. If you want to defend your companion, you can do so there.
Yeah.
I'll let Elwyn know where we're going.
Can I see kind of what's happening now? There's
Yeah,
no
I'm-
doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
things-
I mean,
things are
thank
outside.
you for telling me.
I've got my eyes on you.
Gideon, what are you up to?
I'm still in the bush. I haven't left. I rolled another wisdom save and I set the number a little higher because he's alone now. And it didn't go so well. So he is in a state of shock, frozen in the bush.
And it's not long after that guard who was kind of left spinning around finds you. Ah, there you are. And he takes your arms behind your back and he handcuffs you as well.
Me?
Yes.
When he says, "Oh, there you are," my pistol fires, but it misses him.
If I hear Gideon's
Yeah,
gun
that's
go
probably
off,
loud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run to where I heard it and like pull my great axe out on my way.
Oh no,
Like,
this
Drac
is
would-
not what we need.
I wonder if I can do the
Probably
rest of
go
this
to that
campaign by
sound as
myself.
well.
Yeah, he fires, basically bounces off a tree. He just looks shaken and shocked, and he throws the gun to the floor and just puts his hands up.
And the guard takes your arms and puts them behind your back and handcuffs you. And He seems like shaking while he's got, like, putting you in handcuffs. Abe, you re-enter the dark forest, and you can hear the commotion of the two of these, Gideon and this guard.
I'm smashing through bushes, like bull charging. I guess I'll say, like, not loudly, but just shout Gideon's name.
Gideon, what are you up to?
Gideon, I guess Gideon's apprehended, yeah?
Yes.
He's just he's silently, sort of eyes wide, staring at the soil. Yeah, he's not doing okay.
The guard that had Azariah lets go of you, Azariah, and says, "Wait here." And then he runs after Abe, yelling. And then the guard that was apprehending Gideon takes out his sword and is, like, panicked. Now, what are you up to?
I'm gonna look over at Rhea and be like, what do I do? Should I stay here? Should I help them?
I think more hands over there will just cause bigger issues.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll just stay and wait.
Do I catch up to this action, Denny?
Yep, you're there.
Okay.
Am I there
I
as
don't think
well?
I'm gonna enter into like the space that they're in, but I can't see anything. Do the other guards have like torches or anything like that? Are they like making their way around the back of the house?
The ones that are closest to the house now have torches and have, like, taken the lamp from the front porch, and they're using light sources, but the ones in the forest, they're lightless. Abe, you do show up now.
I guess I'll see the state of Gideon and look at the guard.
Like, all
Kinda-
very dark.
As do I accidentally run into Gideon?
However you want to play, I'm fine with
Sure.
that.
Yeah,
I
you can
guess-
absolutely run into Gideon.
I'll see
You'll-
the shapes and say Gideon's name again.
And he's right there.
Yeah, Gideon turns to you very quickly with a jump. He looks like he instinctually tries to reach for his gun, but his hands are tied and his gun is missing.
Abe, make a perception check with disadvantage.
It's gonna be a big old 7.
As Gideon, you hear Abe yell your name, and as you swing around, the hulking man of metal just collides with you, and the three of you go down to the ground. And the guard is just, like, wrestling Abe off of him and trying to regain his composure.
If the guard's distracted, I think Gideon's gonna make a break for it.
All
He's
right,
in fight or flight. He's leaving.
go
He
ahead and
can't fight.
let's say, make a Constitution check for me.
Just a check or a save?
Just a check.
That's a 10.
And you dart off into the woods. Abe, you're left with this guard.
I guess I would know the situation. I stand up and offer my hand to help him stand up.
And he's very shaken, just like, and he's not taking your hand, but now understanding that you aren't entirely hostile, he doesn't immediately attack you with his sword. Shortly after, the guard that had pursued you comes through the bushes as well, and almost runs into the two of you. What is it? Is everything all right here? The shaken
My
guard's
friend
like,
fired his weapon.
is everybody fine?
I assume so.
How many of you were there?
6. One of us was in the house.
If you wish to meet no aggression, hands behind your back.
I do not comply.
Hands behind your back.
My friend ran from you. Why did he try to fire at you?
The shaking guy's like, he was being apprehended. I mean, you were all hiding here in the bushes, and there was an unlawful meeting here, and I don't have to answer to you. Hands behind your back.
Teni, how far away is this happening from me? Can I hear it?
Make a perception check with disadvantage due to the sound of the rain.
Truly could not have rolled. It was a 3 and a 4, so that's a 7 total.
Do you guys have like any? Oh dear, that thing I give inspiration.
Oh, I do have inspiration. Does that mean I just roll one more, or I roll
Yes.
inspiration with disadvantage too?
So, at least from what I understand, the way inspiration works isn't like giving advantage or disadvantage. It's like take a d20 and replace it kind of thing.
Okay. Please.
I could be wrong about that, though.
Freaking 6. That's a 10.
You and Azariah remain where you are, and you hear noises off in the woods. There's no weapons. You don't hear the clash of metal or anything, but there are voices, and there is yelling.
Abe, everything okay? I don't know.
I think. Can I
need
try?
not- Sorry. Oh, you go ahead.
You go ahead. You're in a scene. You continue.
I mean you no harm, but you will not bind me.
Make an intimidation check.
I have no idea if I'm trained in it. Sorry. It's the big old 18.
They feel the weight of your words, and they know that you could mess them up. All right, then. Come peacefully, and we won't have any issue. We will not restrain you.
My friend Raya does not mean you harm either. I start walking back to the group, or back to Raya and Nell.
The two of them, like, kind of, like, maintain a distance between you and are kind of, like, circling slightly awkwardly through the forest. Which one is that?
The one you have bound. My other friend Nell also means you no harm.
Meanwhile, the house behind you, there's just all this yelling as people are being, like, wrestled to the ground, apprehended, and some people are beginning to be taken down the trail back towards Balesville.
Can I tell, did anyone, like, make it out at all, or does it seem like the majority of people are getting apprehended?
It seems like some people have, like, fled off into the woods, and there are some people, and now, like, there are torches off in the woods. Elwyn, can I have you make a stealth check for me?
18.
You kind of, like, just huddle down next to the trunk of a tree as a citizen and a guard just run past you, and the orange light of the flame just kind of ripples across the forest scenery as they flee deeper into the woods. You're unseen.
Super. I'm just gonna hang out here.
So, yeah. The Abe and the two guards returned to where Nell and Azariah were standing. Well, thankfully,
Okay.
you're not putting up much resistance, but again, this was an unlawful gathering, and we need to discern why you were present for this. So there is a bit of suspicion here.
That's reasonable.
That makes sense. You said this is not a place to talk, so bring us to where you want to talk with us.
That is what we are attempting to do. Are we good to move?
Yes.
And he looks at Azariah and Abe.
Yeah. I nod my head.
Gone.
All right. Follow me. And he lights a torch and leads the lot of the three of you back into town. Drac and Elwyn, what are you doing?
Do I
I
know
do-
where Drac or Gideon are?
Can I do one thing before, like, as we're leaving the woods?
Sure, Elwyn, I don't think you do know. Nell, what is it?
I remember that when Elwyn and I had our talk about, like, my magic being all fucked up, that I thought something once and she was able to hear it. So I'm going to try and do that again and just be like, Elwyn, I think Gideon needs help somewhere in the woods. The three of us will be okay. I'm casting message, so I don't know if it'll actually connect or not, because I don't know where she is, but...
The message lands.
I can reply to a message, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try to look for him then. What happened?
I guess you can't reply, but all right, I'll go look for him.
I'll be like, whoa, that's so weird. I don't know how to do that again. Sorry. It takes a lot of concentrating for me to be like,
Elwyn, you did not receive a follow-up message.
That's okay. I'm still connected to Rhea though, so I can just be like,
Nell just told me that Gideon needs help somewhere here. I'm gonna go try to find him, but if you need me, let me know. Also, do you know where Drac is?
I only know where Abe and Mel are. A little preoccupied with the handcuffs.
Fair enough. Well, they'll keep you safe, I'm sure.
she's not sure. That's fine.
I don't think these guards want any aggression. They also seem a little terrified of Abe.
They don't want to catch these hands.
Rightfully so.
Rated E for everyone, these hands.
If we ever get t-shirts, we need a shirt that just has a picture of Abe. It says "Catch these hands."
Oh boy. All right. So, Elwyn, what is your course of action?
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna let the kind of trio and guard pass by then, and then if it's kind of quieter around here, I'm gonna just kind of start moving back towards where I last saw Gideon and see if I can maybe pick up tracks or anything anywhere that he might have gone.
Drac, what are you up to?
Well, I followed the sound of the gun being fired and then stopped short of kind of where we were hiding before. So I think I would have just waited until the coast was clear and then make my way back to the spot where we...
Elwyn, as you're approaching the place you think that Gideon was last seen, the pair of you kind of hear each other as you're approaching this spot. It's a little unnerving. Drac, because you can't see, and Elwyn, because it's a forest.
Hello? Who's there?
Drac?
Oh.
It's me.
Oh, thank goodness.
Good, I'm glad I found you.
Yes.
The other three, a guard took them back into, or not the Abe, Nell, Rhea, a guard took them back into town, but I don't know where Gideon is. Have you seen him?
there was an altercation or something with one of the guards, and I think Gideon got grabbed, but then something happened and he ran. I don't know, I couldn't see. It was very dark.
Right. Will you help me search for him?
Of course.
Nell
So-
seemed to think that he might be in trouble.
Should I light a torch, or do you think that'd be too conspicuous?
Are there still a bunch of guards around, or is it mostly cleared out?
It seems at this point a lot of the noise has like left from the log cabin, and either a lot of the guards have managed to go back to town with whoever they've caught, or they're elsewhere in the woods, still chasing after their quarry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you could light one now.
Okay. I'll strike my tinderbox and try to light a torch in the rain.
Yeah, it takes a couple of tries, but eventually the flame catches, and the pair of you notice the glint of a metal shine on the ground in the mud. And there lies Gideon's pistol.
I'll pick
It's
it up.
not great.
Okay. I think we should stick together, but with the torch light out, do I see any tracks or anything?
Make a survival check for me, and I assume Elwyn's gonna offer assistance.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I give you guidance as well as help?
Yeah.
I will do that. Here.
So with guidance, your help. Okay, that's gonna be a 18.
All right. So, as you kind of get closer to the ground, like with the torchlight, and see if you can find any disturbances in the nature, there's also this, like, you find the tracks you're looking for, and when you do, it's almost like there's this, like, thin piece of, like, white energy that begins, like, floating off into the woods. The insight from Elwyn's guidance.
I think you went that way.
Okay. I guess we'll
Follow
keep
the trail.
moving then. Yeah.
Gideon, off in the woods, you are running. Branches are tearing at your clothes and scratching at your skin. And there are people hunting you. They are tracking you down. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Gideon is running as fast as he can until his lungs fail him in the direction of the one place this town could possibly make him feel safe. Probably his old house.
Okay, can I have you make a constitution save for me?
Yep. He will. There's a good chance he might collapse along the way. So, there it is.
Oh no.
What'd you get?
A 6.
As you're just booking it through the woods, just trying to find a safe space somewhere that is anywhere but here, your foot catches on the root of a tree and you feel yourself off the ground. It feels like minutes, and you collide into the mud and the leaves of the forest floor, and you're unconscious. Drac and Elwyn, eventually following this trail, you find the unconscious body of Gideon.
Oh no, Gideon. I run over. Is he breathing?
Yeah, but it's shallow breaths.
Do I think a healing spell would aid him in this moment?
Yeah, you could try.
Okay. Without thinking twice, I will hold my hand out and cast Cure Wounds.
Right. The breathing stabilizes. Gideon, what happens?
7 hit points.
Gideon's eyes go from being shut to wide open, as he looks up and says, "Who are you? What am I doing back here?"
Gideon.
Gideon,
It's okay.
it's
It's
Elowen
us.
and Drac.
You see Gideon tries to reach on his back. He's on his back, but
Yeah.
he tries to pull the sword from his back that's stuck in the mud.
I just put my hand on his hand. Gideon, it is okay.
What am I doing here?
We came here together.
Did you bring me back here?
No. Come. We have a safe place for you.
There's no one safe here.
It is safe with your friends.
Oh, what friends? He leans back in the mud.
Just look at Evelyn. I'm not so well versed in this kind of pain.
I'll just kind of go and like kneel beside Gideon. Just kind of like, I don't know, put my hand kind of like on his arm or something, just gently.
Gideon, I know that this is hard for you, but if you can get up, we can get out of here. We can find a nice bed for you to lay down in. We can get you warm and out of the rain. We're just trying to help you.
Did you roll a persuasion check?
Sure.
Can I assist?
Sure.
My job has been lifted.
Sorry.
We'll take it from here,
I'm
Denny.
so bad at doing that. I'm just like, absolutely. Well, either way, it's an
No, this is
11 if
great.
you don't let me do it, or 17 if you do.
Absolutely. No, I'm letting you guys do this. This is great.
Okay. Where's your idea? Who are you again?
Where are your
Are you
friends?
helping me?
I extend my hand to him. Try to get him up out of the mud.
Gideon reluctantly and sheepishly takes your hand.
Pull you up and place your gun in your other hand. Because friends want to help each other. That's why we're helping.
Oh, you found my father's gun.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome, friend.
Oh, okay. Where are we going?
To a nice comfy bed. Well, you are. And I'll take my cloak off and put it around him.
He allows it.
I guess
Evelyn, do you know where our friends are?
they're back in town, which I hope I know the direction of from here.
We'll figure it out.
We'll kind of just take Gideon then and move him kind of back towards any sort of path that we might know exists, although maybe we don't because we followed a weird trail to get here. But back towards town at least.
Go ahead and make another survival check for me. You can do the previous things you've done.
Great.
Cool.
I think you're better doing it than me.
Alright. Natural 20.
So based on the
Total
direction you were
of-
traveling and where you...
Total of 30.
Oh my god.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
We
First-
teleport there.
Is this like the first 30 of the campaign?
I think so. 'Cause I have a
Nice.
+6, plus
That's
I got
impressive.
a 4 from Elowen's guidance.
Wow.
In short order, you lead Gideon back to the path, remembering the ways you'd traveled and approximately where the path had been before. It's short order to get back there. And you head back into town, seeing no other Arturian knights out in the night.
I'm still cuffed, by the way.
Oh.
Oh shit. Yeah. Definitely try to break those cuffs off.
Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
You're just gonna rip them off?
Well, I'm trying to like break them like at like the center. At the very
Right.
least, cut the chain or something with my spear.
Okay, then make an attack roll for me. While I remember that I usually have an equipment tab open.
That's gonna be a dirty 20, I believe. No, sorry, 18.
18. Okay. And
Yeah.
let's see. Shackles. Nope. What are those called? Let's say 20 hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
It was an 18, but
Oh, my apologies. That's still fine.
okay. Then it would be 8 damage.
And the chain connecting the two shackles just slices into two pieces as the blade you keep is very keen. And Gideon, your hands are freed. Though
Are
still
the
cuffed.
manacles still? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get those off of you later, friend. I think you yourself might actually have the ability to do that.
We'll see.
And
Along the walk back to town, Gideon will stop at one point, and he'll say, "I'm sorry," and he'll take his swords off his back, and he'll hand them to Drac, and he takes his gun out of his pocket, and he hands it to Elwyn, and he says, I can't be trusted with these, not while I'm here."
Okay, we can hold on to these for you for now, but I do trust you for what it's worth.
Well, I don't, so can you hang on to them for me?
Yes.
Of course, friend. Do you remember who we are now?
Yes, I'm sorry. Elwyn, Drac, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Just pat him on his back. It is okay, friend. One's past is a hard thing to face sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
We will get
I
through
don't
this together.
Yeah, I just... I haven't been back since whatever happened. So, you know as much as I do.
Indeed. Come, let's find our friends and get you out of these wet clothes.
meanwhile,
Okay.
back in town, the guards lead Abe, Nell, and Azariah to a centralized building within the town made of stone, and it's this long rectangular building, and adorning the top corners of this roof that rakes upward are these pale stone carvings of gargoyles that sit atop and just kind of watch the scenery. And the guards lead you in through these front double doors into the interior of what is their law house. It seems there are temporary stalls set up in here, almost like this place occasionally functions as a farmer's market. And there are rooms that kind of off to the left and right past these stalls and leads up to a almost like a judge's stand. It seems this building serves many functions.
Do I get the impression that like the Arturian Knights occupancy here is relatively new? Like they've just kind of recently moved in and taken over this building?
Go ahead and make a, I guess, intelligence insight check.
Okay. $14.
Yes, it does feel like this move has been pretty recent. Like within the last month, maybe. So, the guards.
Keep like a watchful eye
Yep.
as we go in.
So the guards lead you in, and they kind of gesture to a few benches that are off on the sidelines between some of these doors, but behind these stalls. And have a seat.
Take
We're
a
just
seat.
We're just going to ask you some questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll sit
Sit
down.
down.
So what were you doing out here tonight?
Well, it's a long story. Kind of an unbelievable one, which is why there's a thing in my backpack. Would you mind, like, uncuffing me and then I can just grab it for you?
You've been pretty agreeable up to this point. I've got no problem with that. But no funny moves.
Of course.
Any gestures for you
And
to
I'll,
turn around?
like, get up and turn myself around.
He pulls out a key and puts it into the shackles, and they fall off your wrists. Even for that short time they were on, they just a little bit of an ache.
Uncomfortable to sit on my own hands, too, in that chair. And I'll go through the bag and find the note that we had that we took off Flavius's body. We had found this note on I don't know what exactly he was. Just a bandit, essentially a fancy bandit that seemed to be working with the group of people holding that meeting. They had gathered the help of some cannibal elves that had lived up in the mountains to attack the work on the railroad. We had just stopped by to take a look at it. One of our friends who isn't here with us was curious. And while we were there, the attack happened. We helped fend it off, keep as many folks alive as we could. And then when we saw this, we were like, well, Balesville is on the way. Let's see what's going on, because we had heard rumors of some strange occurrences happening here. And I just wanted to see if they were connected.
And so what, you fancy yourselves private investigators?
No, but I mean, it doesn't seem like things are going very well here at the moment. DNR solutions being burnt down, that I thought this would be a low priority thing.
And if I may, of course, I recognize that I'm not a law keeper by any means, but I do have a religious calling or to help, and it seems like no one else was going to, so.
All right, so what about you? And they look to the Abe.
I look at Raya at first. Sorry, Rhea. Rhea.
Rhea.
And I kind of mutter, they were disciples of Malden, not cannibal elves. Then I look back at the guard and say, I travel with them.
All right, so you're clearly not from here. Okay. Well, you chose the wrong place and the wrong time, that's for sure. Being a bit nosy isn't exactly good for one's health, so just steer a bit clearer. Okay?
Okay. Teni,
Yeah.
we enlisted the help of the female Arturian knight at the railroad whose name was, I think it was like Leah Belowtree, maybe?
Leoba Lowtree.
I don't know what their first name. Leoba Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I had it written, I was like, I don't actually remember. I could, anyways. Yeah, Leoba. And they kind of like, not like gave us our blessing, but they knew kind of like, they saw everything that happened and knew that we were going to do something about it, right? It didn't seem to care, or am I inventing that?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, like, you guys helped at the railway, but
Yeah.
she was saying that there was weird
well, they
stuff
have
going
the
on.
prisoners. Yeah, they have the prisoners. Okay, never mind. I was trying to make something up to serve my purposes here, but
Well,
you know, Leoba.
what is your pitch? What do you got?
Oh no, I'm just gonna ask now the person. Do you know Leoba? They work down at they're currently at the railway construction right now. All Aturian knights know each other, right?
No, they don't.
Pretty sure.
And I do not know Leoba. No.
Okay. Well, cool. They well, should you ever meet, I don't know why they can corroborate the attack that happened there. They actually have some prisoners that there that they are going to be trying to, I guess, bring to I guess Brawl Bar. Is that the place?
I mean, I suppose it's quite likely. You said she's stationed down at the railway construction, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we can do some. We can get someone to relay some. Get somebody to get in contact with her and see if we can corroborate your story. If it's as serious as it sounds, we'll probably hear about it sooner than later.
Great. I don't really know what your lines of communication are like, so.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought I would bring it up.
All right. Well, if we're all set
does
here,
the phrase? Well, I actually have a question for you.
yes.
The knights, because the letter was in Dwarven, so I assume that they thing.
Yeah.
The one from Flavius wasn't
Yes.
in common.
Correct.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they can't actually read it. These humans, or have they shown an ability to?
Have you handed them the note?
I put it on the table.
Oh, you guys are seated at a bench.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I have it in my lap.
Sorry, I didn't recall you actually handing it to them. So they'll take it. And it seems like the one who has a bit more composure is actually able to read it. The other guy's just kind of been shaking a little bit and watching Abe.
Does that phrase, "May the midnight sun rise," mean anything?
Nothing I've ever heard. No.
Is he being truthful?
Go ahead and make an insight check for me.
AKA, can I insight? Beauty. All my dice are being so rude. I don't understand what is happening tonight. I cannot roll above a 10. I have good insight. That's only a 14. Anyway, 14.
With a nat 1, there is a lie to that. He has heard that phrase before.
I see you.
Well, if we're all squared away here,
Can't do anything.
you're free to go, but you should carry on your way as soon as you can. Things are getting pretty rough here.
Understood.
All right. Well,
If you need any additional help, I mean, we'd be glad to offer assistance.
we'll keep that in mind. Private investigators. Well, carry on then.
Did he give us the note back?
He did.
Okay. Then I'm good to go. Yeah, I'll leave.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
I'll give one look to the guy who seems so scared of me and just kind of like nod at him and then walk out.
There's like a slight flinch when you nod.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Right.
I
And
think once we're outside, I'll be like, let's go to the inn. I think we need to talk about some stuff.
it's roughly around this time that that Drac, Elwyn, and Gideon are walking in the rain, and the three of you see the rest of your party walking out of a building.
Go to catch up with them.
You guys got out okay?
Yes, let's speak at the inn, I think.
Yeah, I think that's for the best.
Kind of give a look to Gideon.
Gideon nods.
A lot of you kind of get this feeling of like eyes on the back of your head, and it's just the creepiness of this town is really ramping up. And you carry on back to the inn. When you return, the place is all but emptied. The tables that had been so busy earlier are now completely cleaned off, and the chairs flipped over on their the seats on top of the tables, and the barkeep is wiping down the counter. Well, good to see you're back. The rooms are still available. You've got your keys still?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
If you need anything, we'll be down here.
Can we just
Gideon,
put
do you
together
need
a tray of
food
drinks?
or anything? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe something nice and warm for you?
I could use a drink.
What would you like, friend?
Something strong.
I'll ask the barkeep for a bottle of whiskey and some glasses and some food, if possible, to be sent to one of our rooms.
A bottle of fire breath. You got it. That'll be 3 silver.
No problem.
That's a fancy bottle.
Well, I hope it's good then.
If it's been less than the 3 hours since I started my telepathic link, I'd like to drop it
Sure.
with the knowledge that someone else was on it at one point. I don't want that just hanging out.
Sounds good. Right. So, it feels like this large open concept inn is just empty of people, and it's almost like the candles that are lit in the sconces on the wall, it's almost like the auras of flame are like being fought against by the darkness. Like there are a lot of shadows in this space. But up the stairs to the loft overlooking the dining area, there is a hallway that goes further into the building and several rooms off the left and right of this hallway. And these are the rooms. What are people doing?
There are 2 double rooms, right?
That's what you'd
We don't
arranged for?
want to talk this out a little bit. The double rooms are a little bit larger, probably.
Yes, I'm curious to see what you've learned and what happened inside there, Azariah.
hmm Once we get into the rooms and like make sure the door is like closed and locked behind us, I think the most concerning thing that I learned in there is that they're talking about full-on rebellion against the Ascendancy.
Interesting.
Nothing about the group I saw in there makes it seem like it will be a success. They seem like a small group of people at the end of the day. Balesville is still just a town. Even if everyone here decided to take up arms, they couldn't imagine it, accomplishing something that they want. But I think there's a lot of anger in the townsfolk. In just the way that the system is. And I think that that's being used by someone. They were led by Kardrak Mithrilcoat, which something seems... he was talking about, we fought at the Battle of Brule Bar for this, but he wasn't there. And that seemed to strike a nerve when I brought that up. I think someone's playing these townsfolk for their own personal gains. Apart from that... Oh, Drac?
Sorry, I find it curious that there's so much anger against this ascendancy. It seems to have been a unifying force. What do you think of this conglomerate, Azariah?
Oh,
who did we...
We lost
Who did we lose?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Look at all.
All right.
Like, if I sit here, I'm in me.
Hey, Logan.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Ooh, I'm in track now.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Dallas.
What's up?
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Should we go on break? So
Yeah, I was thinking it sounds like somebody might need to reset their router. All right.
Yeah?
Well,
Longest pause.
the fun of the internet. All right, so we'll take a break here.
I feel like it's okay now,
Oh, okay.
if you want to keep going. It's catching itself back up.
All right, we'll at least finish
Yeah,
up this scene here and see where we're at. So, yeah.
So I asked Azariah what they think of the Ascendancy.
I mean, I think it's overall a good thing for most people. I do think that with any system of rules, there is a level of too much. People lose personal freedoms, and I think that's what the people here are feeling. That at the end of the day, for the farmers in Balesville and stuff, they have no voice in a system that tells them what to do, and where their money goes and stuff, and they feel exploited. And for the dwarves that were in that group, I've got to say there is a bit of being able to relate to wanting their home back. Places that were theirs are now filled with, everyone ruled by, for a while, two people that weren't dwarves. I'm sure they're dwarves on the councils now, but, So I get the anger. I don't think it's well placed or useful. And I think that it's something that people realize can be easily manipulated. Find a lot of people angry, and you suddenly spill their anger into your delusion, whatever this May the Midnight Sunrise thing is. You know, all you have to do is sprinkle a bit of words about what they want to hear. Ooh, freedom. Ooh, your land, like your home back. I don't think that person's going to give it to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, who is the other person you mentioned? The dwarven gentleman?
Kardrak Mithrilcoat.
Yeah.
He was one of the heroes of the, like, during the Desolation and stuff, that helped get everyone underground.
And just for the sake of brevity, I know I in real life figured out that was the initials on the note, but Nell hasn't actually had that yet. So I'll just be like, Rhea, can I see that note again?
Well, I'll pass it to you.
And then I think I'll point out for everyone, is this not signed by him?
I think so. He also, when I mentioned Flavius's name, seemed to react to that.
So do you think he's the one riling people up here?
I do. I don't know why someone who, though, saved everyone would suddenly be angry about this.
Well, he brought everyone underground,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe he's angry about the return to the surface? I don't know why you would be, but...
I have no idea.
Does he propose a solution or just stoke rage?
Just stoked rage.
Well, he picked the
Or
perfect
neither.
place.
Pick the perfect place, and again, certain things within what he said, sound reasonable.
Did while you were in there, did he talk about anything that happened 5 years ago, or Sorry, did he talk about the event?
No, he mentioned nothing of it. Pretty much, actually, also, once things got to me being there, and he asked me questions, it got more into being, angry at elves existing and throwing me to the ground.
Oh,
Are you angry that elves exist?
Yeah, seems to have a chip on his back about fey creatures.
Why?
Clearly doesn't understand the difference between an elven and a ladrin. Come on.
Yeah.
He lay hands on you.
Yes, two of them did. Grabbed me by the shoulders and kicked me in the knee down onto the ground.
Are you okay? You need any healing?
Oh, I'm fine. I think it was more a show of force than anything. I mean, if he did have a knife or a sword, was it a knife?
It was a sword concealed within his cane.
He did have a sword concealed within his cane drawn at one point, but I think he realized that spilling blood would not have made him look good. But he did, at the end, say something, you are known to me? Whatever that means.
Numb?
No.
Known.
Known. I also heard gnome. You are gnome to me. It's all gnomes.
He also
really
can't tell
doesn't.
the difference between elves, electric, or gnomes, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ask Rhea, is there a general consensus against the dislike of fey creatures? That's something I don't understand. Is it just the fact because the Eladrin left? Is that what it is? Or the druids
there's-
left? Those are different, I guess.
Well, the Eladrins also left, and so did the elves many hundreds of years ago. So I do think there are probably people who still hold prejudice due to that, especially in longer-lived races who may have been around like during the Desolation and reaching the ends of their lives now,
Right.
like Kardrak. Very old.
Yeah. I would know, I guess. How long do dwarves normally live? This is
It's
out
like-
of character.
Like 300 is a good stretch for a dwarf.
Whoa. Cool.
And how long ago was the Desolation?
About 300 years ago.
So he would have only been a child when the desolation happened as well, then.
I don't think so, since he was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
a champion of it.
He's older than 300.
He's
Oh.
something. I mean, flukes of nature, people can live very long, but yeah, being, looking at that, then you might be getting close to 400 or something. I don't know exactly when dwarves reach adulthood, but
I would know. When do they reach adulthood, Denny?
I would know. Denny, tell me.
I would know. Christy doesn't know. Nell knows. She's got dwarven cousins. So
Yeah.
when
For,
did my cousins reach adulthood?
for all intents and purposes, I'm treating every race as they reach adulthood either like at like 10, like strange races like Dragonborn and Lizard folk, or 20, like the standard humanoids. Because
Right.
it always bewildered me, like elves being like, "Hey, mature at 60." It's like 60 years of childhood? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, boy.
Nah. Well, they would the same as myself, and for the most part, the rest of us, other than I guess Drac, but yeah, around 20 or so.
okay, so
So is there something
He's-
perhaps
He might be
magical happening
mid
here?
300s.
Well, yeah, I was born just before the desolation. I'm 303.
Right.
That's-
So he might be like 350, maybe.
Yeah.
So maybe he's got some sort of artifact that or something.
Or he's just living at the. He's just lucked out. Seems strange for a man who has supposedly fought in 2 major wars.
Yeah.
I need to find whatever god he's worshipping.
to be that old and still, I guess kicking seems very insensitive, but still like active and doing all this seems strange to me. From
And he
what my
was
aunt has told me.
very. His body looked old. Nothing else about him felt. The way he moved, the way he talked, the way he held himself. Like he still feels like he's in the prime of everything else.
So that again leads me to think of like some sort of artifact or something like that that would maybe like it keeps him lucid as he always has been, but he can't control the rigors of time on his body. But
Very confusing.
yeah, I wonder at his motives here and if they're maybe more sinister than it seems.
Probably.
I think anyone who's willing to kill some railroad workers Like, you can have problems with the Arturian Knights, sure. You can have problems with DNR solutions, sure. You can have problems with the whole thing, but to just go and he talks about, power to the workers and stuff, and then, was gonna have some followers of Meldon?
Malden.
Malden.
Malden. Followers of Malden go and just take out innocent people, which it doesn't seem, at least the two that we had captured, that they would do something like that. But I don't think Flavius cared.
I keep forgetting, who is Flavius? That
was the mage.
He's dead.
Of the Malden people,
Yeah.
right?
Well, he wasn't part of.
Oh, right. He was the one that was
group.
sent.
He was the
He
one.
was
who
wearing a
sent it to
mask.
them.
Mhm.
Oh, I have his mask in my pocket or in my bag.
Pocket mask.
While we're having
Is
this
it weird if I put it on?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a little weird.
Please don't.
It's like a mask situation. You just become someone else. It's like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
Ah!
Sorry, Drac, what are you trying to say?
Could I have been ritually casting detect magic while we were having this conversation,
Sure.
just in case there's some funky shit going on around us? Because I don't trust this town, and all this talk of people living longer than they're supposed to is making Drac a little paranoid.
Yep. Finishing up the ritual cast, because this conversation had gone on for quite a bit. You get that magical sense that kind of spreads out from you, and there isn't a whole lot of magical entities, but it seems, I think it was Azariah has something magical within their possessions.
Okay, I won't pry into that because it's on them.
If you look at me weird, I'll gladly share what it is. Like,
I think you
seem
would
to
see
notice
me
it.
just kind of scanning the room. My eyes are like glowing with like the light blue of the detect magic that you've seen before. So
And in my bag, I pull out. It's the ruby that. Oh God, what is his name? I'm so bad with remembering names. The person who I helped get
Ledlin.
married.
Yeah.
oh, Lenlin.
Gave me, which actually, pulling it out, I'm like, Alwyn, this actually would be probably a lot more useful to you now that you have that club.
What is it?
It's a Ruby of the War Mage. It allows you can attach it to a weapon, and that weapon can be used as a focus.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that if you're not going to use it.
And I shake my hands at the whole no magic thing.
Right.
Nothing else magical around us.
At this moment, an unseen servant picks up Gideon's whiskey glass and brings it to him.
You detect the aura of an invisible person.
That's horrible.
Throw a dart.
It's way worse.
Yeah. Gideon then takes the whiskey glass, snaps his fingers at it, and you see it sort of get like a cool wind over it, like, whew, and the drink is chilled, and he downs it.
And the dart flies through the unseen servant, and it just fades away from Drac's magical vision.
Gideon. Very cool.
Yeah, he's alright.
Gideon, do
I
you
don't
need to
know.
lie down? You could go to
You
the
know-
other room.
That's a great idea. Yeah. I'm glad everybody's safe.
Glad you're safe. We found you face down in the mud.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm gonna need to clean myself off and probably take a look at any scratches that I sustained along my fun jog after receiving a new fashionable bracelet as he hands up his handcuffs.
Do you think the tools you use could break those off?
I could certainly try.
Let me know if you need help.
Will do. And he picks up his hat. He takes off his hat and says, "Have a good night, and thank you again." And he looks to Elwyn and Drac, sort of nod, sort of like half bows to you on his way out and leaves.
You see a
Before
beside.
Gideon leaves, I'm just like, well, we have everyone. I'm like, the guards did tell us to leave town.
Oh, I actually had something to say about that. Well, two things. Firstly, they're kind of bad at their job. They don't know our names at all. They never asked. So,
That might be to our benefit.
oh, for sure. I just thought it was kind of just like bad work, you know. But also, it seems like they've only been here for about a month, from what I could tell when we were at the building. So, I guess they've got bigger fish to fry. But also, that guy, I think he knew the phrase, the one that I've only been running his name as KM in my notes, so I don't actually remember his first name, but
Kardrak Mithrilcoat?
How he signed his note. There was he recognized something, so I don't know. It seems.
Is there a library in this town? Like any record?
I mean,
sorts.
there's like a small, and I suppose Gideon could be the one to tell you this, but there's like a small, not even like a library. It's like a office of records, and it's like not incredibly big. And who knows what its condition is like.
Yeah, Gideon says that.
What should we do with that information?
Oh, I
Do we
guess
think
that
the knights are in on this?
it's really hard to say. Well, I don't even know. Like, I think it speaks more. Like, do we want to do anything at all about Kardrak and what he's trying to do here, or are we just leaving it to be sorted out by the guards?
Well, I know Gideon doesn't want to stay here any longer than he has to.
Yep.
And this town does kind of give me the creeps, so.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's just
But I agree with you, if there's something going on, people just can't go around attacking construction workers.
No.
Did
Whatever.
Kardrak make it out? He ran, or did he?
He actually seemed to know that the guards were coming. He said, anyone who doesn't want to be captured, leave.
Well,
I
that's
wonder if
interesting.
they are. Yeah, are they working together?
Maybe
To what
Kardrak is he's playing multiple sides here.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to get
Yeah.
himself installed here.
Well,
the needle was not hard to
Yeah.
find.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they
that was
weren't subtle.
purposeful.
Like the fact that they would slip that flyer to us who are strangers at the inn. They don't know us or our intentions, right?
They were feeling mighty confident.
Yeah.
That makes me ask a question of what do they have that makes them feel so confident? Because as we saw, and as we know, Balesville doesn't have that many people. So why are they so confident? Benefactor of some kind? I don't know.
I mean, Elowen, you had mentioned that something was listening in on us.
Yeah, I just had a feeling that someone was connected into our telepathic link. I don't know. I never heard them, but I don't think that's
maybe
how it's
something
supposed
that
to
can
be.
happen?
I didn't think so, but this is my literal second time using it, so.
Did it feel like you could sense a presence?
Yeah, just like something else was there.
I think probably anyone can see that like Nell gets really quiet at that.
Yeah. That I don't get magic, but if something can break the rules or establish new rules, that's not good. That's something real powerful. Gideon kind of gets uncomfortable at the thought of that. Thinking back to, I said 5 earlier, but it's actually like 9. 9 years ago. He kind of just looks at the floor and goes, I need to go to bed. And he goes and leaves the room.
I'll hand him the key to the room that we're sharing. Think you'll need this?
Thanks.
I'll be over in a bit.
Yeah. Gideon leaves.
And who's sharing the other room?
It was Azariah.
Me and Elowen.
Okay.
Wait, did I not?
I think you got.
You
think
have
I-
a single, and Abe has a single.
Yeah, I paid
Yep.
to have a single for both
Yeah.
of us.
So it's a little bit harder for him to murder us in our sleep.
So
Again,
I was
it wasn't
totally
about
fine to sleep in
Abe,
the same
it was
room as
about
Abe.
Me.
so
I
God had said it. Went and said
oh, so as you guys begin wrapping up this conversation, are there any other final notes you want before we call it a long rest?
No.
All right. So, with this, even though Drac, you have this aura of detecting magic up, the lot of you still just kind of feel these eyes pressing into the back of your head. But every time you look, there's nobody there. Nothing in the shadows. No movement. Just walls, silence, shadows, and light. And you all begin going into your bedrooms, getting yourselves prepared for bed, switching into your pajamas, I guess, or whatever comfy clothing you've got that isn't armor.
Yeah, you know, Drac has that like full like button down, double like long sleeve pantsuit style pajamas. You know,
Little sleeping cap.
my horns poke out of it.
And everybody goes into their rooms. And now there's something about this whole thing that just kind of nags you for a sec. And everyone goes into their rooms, locks up, just leaving you in the hallway for a sec. And you go to open your door. And in the portal of the door, there is just an opening into another world. Volcanoes, the sky is gray with ash, and there are rivers of lava. And this wave of heat washes over you. And then the door just slams shut. And you open it up quickly, and that is gone. Number 66, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go on break here now.
Oh my god! Holy shit! I was like, literally, what's happening?
I was like, what?
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Losing my mind.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Oh,
We're back.
Jesus.
Let's go to Balesville. It'll be fine.
It'll be
Think
fine.
it'll be cool.
I don't
If Abe
anticipate.
and I had shared a room and then Abe just falls into lava, like, oops. Sorry.
I think the Doom soundtrack would kick in.
Rip and tear.
Dan, dan, dan,
Yeah,
dan,
Abe
dan,
is definitely the Doomslayer.
Oh,
Honestly.
wow.
I fully
Oh.
forgot I had rolled a 66. So
I think that was the number, but I remembered what the effect was. Anyway, I promise not to make that our break habit. I was just
Every time.
I mean, it's a good cutting point.
I think it's great because then I can spend my whole break being like, what does it mean?
Oh, all right. We're gonna go on break for a few.
God.
We'll be back in a bit with this story. So we'll see y'all soon. Hi there, folks. I just wanted to say thank you all for coming out this evening to watch the stream live if you're here live, or watching the VOD on YouTube afterwards. I just wanted to add, if folks wanted to support the channel, the easiest way to do that is to follow us on the Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/DicelyDND, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dicely D&D, on YouTube. Thank you all for coming out, and hopefully you're enjoying the stories that we're creating here. I'm having a great time working with these players. They're a lovely bunch, and we should be right back to the game here very shortly, right after this break. So thank you for holding in there, and be sure to go get some water or use the washroom before we get back. So we'll see you in a bit. Thanks, folks. And welcome back again, everybody. Apparently, we're going to be having a short segment of us watching Christy eat a sandwich. So look forward to that.
Can you just make her camera really
Call her
big?
out. Call her out.
You're so rude. I was going to be sneaky. Look,
Well,
some of us have to eat sandwiches, okay?
Brutal.
Oh,
Wow.
man. Here we are. Oh. Also, thank you to everybody who's come out tonight. And I've seen there was a lot of subs, which is insane. Thank you to Dungeon Select for the raid earlier. That was crazy. And I could not react. But man.
Oh, we had 2 hype trains. 2.
What a tense
Double the trains,
session.
double the gains.
Ooh, double the fun. All right. Well, what a oh my gosh, what a time we're having tonight. I'm reeling from what's happening. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we are back from break, and let's get right back to it here. So the night goes on as you all sleep in the old Archer Inn. And the rain hits the roofs above your rooms, and the distant thunder off in the distance can still be heard occasionally, and droplets hit the window panes of the rooms. And Elowen,
Hello.
as you're kind of asleep, what kind of dream is Elowen having?
Oh. I think since we were just in that forest, she's probably not having great dreams. I think she's maybe having dreams of being in a forest and like not being able to find her way out, and there are like trees and masks hanging from the trees as she like kind of runs through and tries to navigate her way out. And it's like a never-ending cycle of just running through dark forests.
As you're running through these forests and your adrenaline is pumping and the panic is there as you're trying to flee this dark, uncomfortable place, there's suddenly a wash of a kind of breaking of the fourth wall. And then, almost as if the forest around you were a painted flat of a theatrical set, though an entity kind of moves through the wall, almost ghostly, and they are this humanoid feline figure with a humanoid face and a flowing, feathery mohawk that runs down the back of their neck, as the humanoid head kind of turns into a lion's body, and they have these hawk-like wings off their back, and this rounded triangle of a red gem in the middle of their forehead. This entity that you had visited once before, as they step into the dream, the forest around you kind of drops as if it had been smoke the entire time.
Layla.
Having pleasant dreams, are we?
I guess you could see that. No, I don't often.
I understand that. And I do apologize for intruding as so, but I have a favor to ask of you. This pact we have established, it comes with a return cost.
What do you need?
I need you to fight that fear for me.
What?
That fear you hold. You have one among you who even I know very little of. The Argon folk.
Oh. I see.
Mm-hmm. I had anticipated this group would help you, but he was clouded. And now, with things coming to light, this is new information. And our job as collectors of the Arquette is to face fear head on and find unknowns.
So even you don't know what's going on with him?
There are, well, from what I've gathered following your journey thus far, there are pieces I think I might be able to offer insight in. He's a servant to another entity, and you fear violence from him. He has demonstrated that he is indeed a very violent being, but it seems there are other facets of him. There is the one you know. There is the one that ripped that man in half. But also there seemed to be another one that kind of made an appearance that same day. And I don't know if you noticed. The one that was well-spoken. Does that seem out of character for a beast?
I suppose so, yes. The one who spoke with Nell and the captors.
Yes, that one. I do not believe him to be as dangerous as you perceive him to be, but he's definitely something to be wary of. But you must fight that fear, for there is knowledge to be discovered here. Despite his vile necromantic origins, we haven't really had a chance to speak, you and I, since our arrangement here. What is your opinion on the necromantic sphere of magic?
I think, like most tools, it can be wielded in multiple ways. There is certainly evil that can be done with necromancy, but I think good can come from it as well. Depends on how it's being used.
Can I have you make... I suppose I should turn to my normal voice for this. Can I have you make an insight check for this?
14.
Waylayla remains stoic at your answer and just kind of nods, thinking about your the way you phrased that.
I see. All right. I'm curious to get to know you a little better. But for now, that is the favor I have to ask of you, is learn more about Abe and Malden, whoever that is.
So Malden isn't the third person inside of Abe.
To me, it sounds like it's a deity. To hold a deity within oneself would be incredibly terrifying. Maybe that is the case. Maybe my theory is wrong. It's a risk we must take.
Okay. Okay, I can do that.
Thank you, Elwin. And I suppose I shall let you return to your dreams, but perhaps I can leave it off in a better tone for you. And as they kind of...
Eventually I'll get used to that. And as they kind of turn away and begin walking away from you into the darkness of your dreamscape, that smoke that had dissipated kind of begins recollecting into a bright meadow. Flowers are blooming, and just the scent of nature and pollen in the air. And there is a village nearby, and people are just talking, laughing, and children are playing together. A much better dreamscape than you had just been in. Gideon. The night is still restless. You'd not managed quite to get all of the mud off. Some caked behind your ears, causes you to be a little itchy in your bed. It's not exactly the prime situation for you to get a good night's sleep. And what are you dreaming about?
I think with everything that's happened in the past 12 hours, I think he is replaying that day in his head, coming back from the forest with Monty and returning to his family estate to find it empty. And the house caved in but food made and ready on the outside table. But no one there. And then commotion in the distance. Lots of yelling and screaming. And then he goes to the barn and gets Hildy, who's just a pony at this point, and basically gets her fed and gets her ready for the day as he takes her and leaves.
And where
Feel
is
free
it
to
you're
throw
heading?
something in there.
Do you see something in the distance? Do you have an idea of where you'd like to go? What does the world hold in store for you, Gideon, the one with Hildy?
Right now, it's fear that is commanding him, and it is getting him to leave Balesville. He took everything he could from his house and fled.
You've packed up your belongings. You've packed up your only companion at this point, and you've begun fleeing the place you had called home. And the skies above begin swirling with gray clouds, unnatural patterns. You turn back to look at the town you had just left, and there are nothing but rolling hills and endless horizons. Lightning strikes somewhere off in the distance, and the clouds just seem to continue on forever. Forever wandering, aimless, and eventually Hildy collapses and lays there. And when you panic seeing your companion fall over, you awaken, but you're not in your bed. Somehow, Drak, you had not noticed Gideon get up in the night. Gideon, you find yourself out in the fields beyond the city limits of Balesville. It is early morning. The sun has begun to creep over into the sky, that dark blue becoming the gray of the early morning. And the farmlands are kind of in a valley to the south of the town, and it isn't uncommon for fog to drift over. And it has this morning. To your left and right, there are fields of wheat, of crop. And standing in front of you, amidst the fog, the hazy silhouette of a house. Fully built, and a table sitting outside. The mud underneath your feet, you kind of clock that, and you feel the earth there. This had been your house. What do you do?
Gideon. Oh man, I'm gonna roll a d20 on this one. All right, let's see what I get. Yep. Gideon is he's shocked as to how he's got here. And I think his fear is overwhelming him, but I think he's resigning to it. And I think he's resigned himself to whatever's about to happen. So he very slowly walks towards the house, specifically the old table. And he sits down at the table, and I assume he's bombarded with memories of family dinners with his mother and father and older brother and younger sister. And remembers the day his brother signed up to be in the military, and various pranks that his younger sister pulled on everybody. And remembering everything, he kind of breaks down at the table and sort of just lays his head upon it. He doesn't know how he got here, but something brought him here, and he just kind of gives into it and just sits at this table, looking at the house that he once knew.
Your head snaps to attention at the instance of a flock of crows that had been sitting on the rooftop caw and flee into the morning air. And it looks almost for a split second like something up on the roof had disturbed them, something that wasn't a crow, like a cat or something. And as you're taking in the
Gideon
scenery,
being very jumpy instinct.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, Gideon being very on edge right now and very jumpy instinctually goes to reach for his pistol, but it's not there. And he stands up and goes to investigate. Although he looks around the table for a nearby object so that he could use as an improvised weapon of some kind.
Make an investigation check for me.
All right, all the rolls. Yeah, 7.
The best you find lying around is a broken piece of the table. Just a shard of wood.
Gideon picks it up and throws it and catches it in his hand. And he approaches the house and goes to knock on the door.
Dull thuds on the door as the wood almost rings hollow. You didn't knock very hard. It doesn't seem anybody comes.
Gideon knocks a little harder. Gives it a good pound.
And when you knock once again, a window not far off from the door, you notice a candle light. And it sounds like footsteps coming from within the house. And they're approaching the door.
Gideon puts the improvised weapon in his back pocket so he doesn't look immediately threatening to the individual.
And the door slowly creeps open, inward. And from behind the door, an eye pokes out and is just wondering who is standing on their doorstep. A human male. Their eyes are blue, their hair is graying, their skin suntanned from a lot of time being out in the fields. And the eye widens, and the door does the same. Standing in the door frame, wearing their PJs with a candle holder in their hand, a man who looks very similar to you, but older. Standing here before you is your father, Samael Gray.
Gideon faints.
And so the morning comes around, and Drac, you wake up, and you see that Gideon is not in his bed. Oh, I think you're muted.
That was a really good bit, too. Good morning, Gideon. Oh, no. We're okay. I quickly get ready and rap on the door of my allies, or the doors of my allies.
I can open our door.
I'm up. I'm ready.
Drac.
Good morning. Gideon is gone.
What?
He's gone. We should probably come. Let's go.
He's not just downstairs for breakfast.
I'll go check, but I don't think so. He didn't bring anything with him.
Okay.
I'll quickly
Is he
change.
downstairs in the tavern?
You
I'm downstairs. The moment my trance ended, I've just been sitting in the dining room because I was like, I don't think I slept in my room either. I probably slept in the hallway in front of my door. Well, I tranced for 4 hours in front of my door, and then I went downstairs. I'm just sitting there with like a big cup of coffee, just like.
Oh.
Nell, take a point of exhaustion. But
Hey,
take an
I
inspiration.
tranced. I did trance though.
But it could have been more comfortable.
Well,
Inspiration, though.
damn. Like, whose fault is that? Just
That was
lava
the number
behind my door.
66 fault.
I
I
hate that number.
simply-
Nell, you look alert.
Yeah. Early start to the day.
Did you see Gideon at any point in the last, I don't know, night, morning?
No.
He's
Why?
missing.
Oh no. She like kind of like shakes out of like her like what the fuck thing that she's been in all night. Oh shit.
Yes, we should go find him.
Right. For sure.
Okay.
I'll head down the stairs and poke my head out the front door, I guess. Do we know if Gideon had shoes on?
Were his shoes up in the room?
His shoes were up in the room.
God damn it.
I'll look for any barefoot tracks.
Actually, kind of better. Yeah, the barefoot might be easier to track.
So it was still raining, so mud.
Can I assist with that check if there is one?
Yep, Abe, go ahead and make a survival check for me. With advantage.
I'll use an inspiration. Hey, there we go. Dirty 20. Rolled a 4 and a 3 with advantage.
Dirty 20. Yeah, I mean, with the mud, it is quite easy to see, especially since there is likely nobody out wandering around at the late night hours. The most fresh set of prints is that of a human without shoes.
I'll kind of take a step out, just sort of kind of like guarding the prints so no one steps on them, and shout back into the inn, "If we are ready to go, I found tracks."
Sure, yeah.
Mel
I
already has a lot of
I've thrown all my
stuff, so
stuff
she's
together.
yeah. I guess
Run out the door.
return the key to the person.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that too.
Something wrong with your rooms, full of lava, and then I'm gonna just walk outside.
No.
Oh gosh, I gotta remember how to add a quote.
God. Just the delivery of that.
Woo!
Oh, your rooms are full of lava. God. So,
Yes.
Are there any
Abe
Arturian
points out the
knights?
tracks.
Sorry, go ahead, Lou.
I was
failed
like,
to add the
I'll. I will hop on. Oh, what was the name of the horse? Dolly?
Yes.
Kenny and Dolly.
And then
yeah,
Kenny and Dolly.
Oh yeah.
I'll hop on Dolly and start following the tracks that Abe had pointed out.
You're just leaving the rest of us here?
Well, if he's in danger, we gotta get there as fast as we can.
through.
Okay.
And we fit 5
is-
people on 2 horses.
is Hildy still here with the cart?
I'll take
Oh, yeah,
Elowen
Hildy.
with me because I assume that I could fit me and Elowen.
I probably can, but is Hildy still here with the cart?
Yeah, Hildy and the cart are like tied up outside the the old Archer Inn.
Maybe we should take that with us.
Azariah, you can speak to animals, yes?
Yeah.
Do you want to let the horses know that our friend is in danger and we need to ride them?
Yeah, and I'll talk to the 3 horses, especially to Hildy, having like a connection with Gideon. I was like, we're a little worried about Gideon's safety. We need to go kind of as fast as we can following, I'll like point out the human tracks on the ground, following like these footprint tracks. And I'll hop on Dolly and start leading the way.
When you
I'll
like
take the cart.
when you pitch this cause, like Hildy like stamps their front foot twice and like shakes their head and whinnies, and like they're already ready to go.
I'll hop in the back of the cart.
Yeah, I'll drive it again because I'm still afraid to sit on a horse. So, horses are ducks. Rooms are full of lava.
Well, actually, what are we doing with the other 2 then? We've left like 2 large people to fit on 1 horse. I guess I can
Well,
go
I'm
on
running.
a horse.
Yeah,
I'm,
Abe
I'm
ain't
just going
fun.
on foot.
Okay.
Abe's fast.
I'm pretty light. I can ride a horse.
Okay.
Hop up on Kenny. Yep.
In the fairly early morning hours, a troop of horse riders and cart steerers begin trudging through a town with roads that are slightly cobblestone, slightly dirt, and the fog is just vast out in the valley farmland to the south, and the tracks take you in that direction. There's a point where Azariah, leading the way, kind of almost gets lost in the fog, and then kind of turns around to make sure you're all there. And you're realizing the proximity is probably going to be a bit important. Azariah, can I have you make a survival check now as the one in the front?
Good at that. 11.
All right. You keep going, and you end up following the tracks down into the valley. And as you're focusing on like following, you end up steering. You were on Dolly, yes?
Yeah.
You and Dolly end up taking a detour into a patch of corn, and Dolly kind of has a bit of a freak out moment, and everybody kind of catches up.
Like, lost in the car, and I'll start like going backwards with Dolly. I'm like, all right, girl. Pick out a cob for Dolly later. You get a treat if we find the tracks again. I'll start re-looking for the tracks and.
Yep. You
Can I
do
assist?
find. Yeah, I was just gonna say you do find them. A little time has been wasted, but you get back on the trail, and you carry on down into what seems to be just straight up farmland. Like, houses are sparse at this point. There are, you could imagine, ongoing fields of corn, but as you kind of dive further into the fog, your sight line just kind of ends at corn. And it's a bit eerie down in this after the previous day, especially. And every once in a while you see like a scarecrow out in the field. Feels a little scary after these sensations of being watched. But you press on. And eventually the tracks bring you to a farmhouse. It's rather simple. It's wood construction. It's not very large. There's a wooden table outside, and off to the side behind it, a not terribly big barn.
I'll direct Hildy into the barn with the cart if it's empty, or just I guess maybe in front of it if it's closed.
Hold my hand out and say, we should be careful. I don't think we should bring our horses anywhere near this place.
Oh, true. I'll just kind of pull off the road a little bit and
I'll hop off Kenny and hitch him up to the cart and start slowly approaching the house.
The footprints approach the door, and an imprint of a person in the mud just at the front of the door.
That's about Gideon's sized, isn't it?
Yes, you can see the imprint of his nose. Perfect Gideon-sized nose right there.
The imprint is very poncho shaped, so
Oh, poncho pajamas. Nice.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about the pajamas.
He
He
didn't
just
wear
wears an
poncho
extra
pajamas.
long poncho.
I hope that's okay. I've made that decision for Gideon. That's what he
That's what
sleeps in.
Gideon wears to bed now.
It's the only item he took with him.
No,
His poncho
it's a
pajamas?
separate PJ poncho.
Yeah.
You guys are laughing at this like you don't have PJ ponchos.
I want a PJ poncho now. In real life.
Second piece of merch.
Is that not kind of like a Snuggie situation?
It is kind of a Snuggie. Yeah.
I
Yes,
pictured
it's
him
Snuggie.
wearing like very loose pants and just a vest. Like no shirt, just a vest and loose pants.
Like Aladdin.
But now he's got a
Alright.
poncho on.
Oh,
Okay. Well, anyways.
Poncho's like
Are
a
there
blanket.
windows on this house?
there are windows.
Can I try to like kind of peek into some of them? See what's going on in there?
Sure. Are you trying to be stealthy about it?
Yeah.
All right. We'll have you make a stealth check and then a perception check.
Oh boy. That's a 5 for stealth.
You kind of slip in the mud on your way over to the window and like thud grab onto the windowsill.
I'm still gonna try to peek it.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check.
A 5.
Oh,
As you
My
pull
God.
yourself
Nice.
up on the windowsill, you slip once again and fall into the mud.
Okay.
I'll help Elowen up, and then with my hand on my dagger, I'll just kind of rap on the door twice, like sharply.
And
I'm gonna flank
Going for a
the
direct
left
approach.
side of the house.
okay.
See if I can get like a bead on anything happening inside or around.
So now you rap on the door, and you hear a couple of like light footsteps, and then the door opens a peek, and there's an older man looking out. Yeah, can I help you? I'm a bit busy at the moment.
Does he look like Gideon to me?
You could see some resemblance.
Okay. I'm so sorry to disturb you so early in the morning, but we were
Yes.
traveling.
Well, there's
Someone.
there's an inn in town.
No, we
Weird.
were at the inn, and this person was with us, and they're no longer there. And it seems as though they've come here, and I'm wondering if you've seen them.
Abe points to the this mud angel.
Poncho Angel.
Our friend Gideon.
Oh, you're Gid's friends. All right, well, you come in. He's resting up, and
Thank
he
you.
opens the door wider, just still kind of like eyeing the lot of you a bit, like nervously. There's
Oh,
a table inside. We don't have enough chairs for everybody, but make yourselves comfortable.
I can
Thank you.
stand. And who are you?
Well, my name is Samael Gray. I'm Gid's father.
oh. It's nice to meet you, sir.
And, well, I'm a bit one-sided on this, and who do I have the pleasure of welcoming into my home?
Right. Sorry, I'll extend my hand. Nalamara,
Well, it's
a knight of Kindle.
it's a pleasure to meet you, Nell.
My name's Azariah.
A pleasure.
I am Abe.
Well, aren't you a fun guy? Hi there, Abe.
Elowen.
Who dragged her out this early in the morning? We've got a bed if you need to sleep. Like, I'm so terribly sorry. What kind of guardians are you?
Sir, I wouldn't underestimate
Yeah.
her like that. So
She is very powerful.
Oh, I'm sorry I misjudged your character there, Missy.
I think ma'am would probably be more appropriate just for going forward.
I think Elwyn just like very much shrinks in on herself in this, and just she doesn't say anything.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I'll keep that in mind. And you, sir, he holds a hand out to Drac.
I've dipped around the side of the house.
Never mind, he does not do that.
I'm trying to scope
Sends
this
his
place
hand out
out,
to an
dude. I do
imaginary
not trust a damn thing of what's happening right now.
I'm with you. I should have done that.
So, yeah, Gid's off in the other room. I put him in his old bed. He's a bit longer than it now, but better than being on the mud.
What happened? Is he alert? Is he awake?
And there's a moment where he kind of finds the words to say, and tears kind of well up in his eyes. If it were a different day, I might have fainted as well. I thought he died, but he's back.
Again, is he
He's fine.
awake or is
No, he's still asleep, but
okay?
yeah, he's just resting up. Can I get you all a tea or something? My wife's a better tea preparer than I am, but I'm letting her sleep.
So your wife is here as well?
Yeah.
I ask, why did you think Gideon had died?
Quite some years ago, something happened. Messed up a lot of us here. And I guess he just up and left. We lost 2 of our kids that day, and I guess Gideon just couldn't take it. We lost all of them.
What?
I'm sorry. This is all a bit too personal. And he just kind of sits down in a nearby chair and just is breathing a bit heavier at the moment.
Is this genuine emotion? Like, is this?
Make an
Can I
insight
make
check
an
for me.
insight? 17. Oh no, I have to roll at disadvantage because of the lava room. 11.
He's crying.
Nice.
I'm gonna imagine that Nell has like cloth handkerchiefs, because that seems like a very sheltered thing to have. So she's gonna pull one out and offer it to him. It's not her initials, but there is like a little like the fire a symbol on it.
Okay. He kind of looks up and thank you, and he wipes his eyes, and blows his nose. I'm sorry. I'll clean that before I give that back to you.
Oh, you can hold on to it. That's fine.
So, you've all been traveling with him?
Yeah, we met him in Starcross. Well, I did at least.
Has he been eating well? Is he in good company? You all haven't been driving him down any bad paths, have you?
Only the most righteous of paths.
Yeah.
He is a hero.
He saved my town.
Oh, God, Gid. Oh. I'm sorry. I think... Oh, boy. I don't know how to process all this. My boy's a hero.
I'll just like put a arm around his shoulder.
Well, thank you. If you want, you can go in there and check up on him, and he might be rousing by now, but darn kid, having to go faint in the mud. We'll have to clean that bed later. Oh, down the hall on the left, first door.
Thank you.
It's like
I'll kind of, I guess.
It's like the door he's referencing is like 5 feet away. The hallway is like so short. It's just like one door on the left, one door on the right.
I'll kind of gesture for like Abe to kind of go first.
I'll go and open the door.
And before we get to that, Drac, what are you up to on the outside?
Hey, so I'm trying to be sneaky, and I'm trying to like peek in through the windows every once in a while making my way around to the back, because I want to see what's going on with this house.
All right, go ahead and make
at the same time, I will also cast Detect Evil and Good.
Okay.
So if there's any aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of me, I know where it's located. And I also know if this place has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Okay. So firstly, go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Bippity boppity boo. Nice. That's gonna be 20 total.
You are quite confident that you are able to slink around without alerting anybody.
Okay.
And so you're spending is that a ritual cast?
No, I'm just casting it
Okay.
immediately. Like as I turn the corner, like sit behind the wall for a second, take a deep breath, cast a spell, and then start making my way around to the back of the house.
All right. So activating that, you do not detect any of the creature types that you'd specified.
Cool.
Going around to the back of the house, though, you do notice that, like, the back window, these windows have, like, they can slide up and down. This one is open.
Okay. What's inside of the room the window's open in?
Peeking into the house, you could see it's the wall opposite of where the party had come in. And you could see them talking to an older human man.
Okay. I'll kind of clock that he sort of looks like Gideon and keep going to like another window or to a back door or something.
Sure. Yeah, not far off, there's a back door. Also leading into that same room. There's no window on that door.
Okay.
Do you continue to the next window?
Yeah.
Continuing further along on this side of the house, the next window you peer in, it's a small bedroom. And looks like it's kind of organized, neat. And there are a few toys laying around. And in a bed, a bit shorter than he is an unconscious Gideon Gray.
Can I see if the window is open from the outside?
The window here is closed.
Okay. Well, I think seeing the party inside, I'll walk Gideon's location. And I'll head to that barn.
All right. And then we'll come back to the party. Abe, you open the door and you find this room as I had just described to Drac. It is like there's like a small chest of looks kind of fun decoration, something the kid might like. There's a few like plastic swords, not plastic, sorry, wooden swords. Dollarama swords.
Awesome. A foam sword,
Yeah.
a Nerf gun.
You know, the perfect instrument to wake an unconscious friend up with. And there's like a dresser, and kind of draped over it is a muddy poncho. And Gideon is asleep in a bed a little shorter than he is.
I'll kind of walk up to him and gesture the others into the room. Is everybody going in with us?
I was behind Abe, so I'm coming in.
I like stand in the doorway.
I will,
I'll come in.
as quietly as I can, so that just the people in the room here say, "This place does not add up."
I'll just kind of nod my agreement and then mutter under my breath, like, I thought they disappeared.
I think that's what Gideon told us.
Yeah. Just be alert. Can I make a medicine check on Gideon to see if he's like okay?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
And if it's like actually him, kind of.
Right.
Um, 12.
Yeah, it just seems he must have fainted. Like, his breathing's fine. Touch his forehead. He's warm. You get the sense that he's him. Or at least it's his body.
I don't like you that you said that.
I know how to play with the suspicion.
Rude.
Oh, also, could I have you roll a d20, Christy?
Oh, you know.
Just for funsies?
Sure. Is it disadvantage because
No.
I'm so okay?
Oh, lucky you.
Oh, it's a 2.
How very lucky.
Is it?
This was for your message casting yesterday.
Oh. Wonderful. I
Yikes.
thought 2 would be bad because it's low.
It was a cantrip. It could only activate on a 1.
Oh, I'm learning how this perhaps all works. I don't understand why lava appears. Ooh.
She figured it out.
I was just standing in this room like,
But lava, what does
No.
it mean?
I was just thinking, like, I let Abe go first because I'm being polite, but now I kind of want to think instead it's more like, I'm not opening any more goddamn doors. Can't do it. If I open a door, it's lava, so I'm just kind of not gonna do that.
Ooh,
We sure are in a room.
you got it. So you're all huddled in this room with Gideon. What are you doing?
I don't really have any way of healing him.
I mean, I can. It's just, this feels like the same when we found you, Elowen. Like, the healing didn't bring you back. It was just, you were just kind of needed to rest. And then I guess the fountain, but Oh, I
Just
should have
give him a little
taken water from that.
push back and forth.
I was just thinking that. We should have taken
A
water.
little nudge.
I can go over and nudge him. Gideon? Kind of shake his shoulder.
Gideon stirs. What?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling. That's a plus.
That's
where you are.
true.
I'm very confused right now.
That
I don't-
seems fair.
And then when he says that, his eyes immediately widen, and he sits up like very quickly. Dad?
Gid, you're up. Oh God. And you hear the like footsteps coming into the room. And he kind of pushes back past anybody who's in the doorway. You all right, son? Oh God.
Yeah.
He just pulls you in for a hug.
Gideon hugs him back really hard, and while he's hugging him, he's like, How are you alive? Is anybody else alive?
And he takes you by the shoulders and like holds you at arm's length, just tears in his face. Your mother's asleep in the other room, but
Oh. And he gets a big smile on his face. See the tears. How are you here? I've looked for you. I looked for years, Dad. Where have you been?
we were here, Gid. There's a lot of confusion over what happened. Nobody's got the same story. We were here, and an earthquake happened, and it took down the house. And we lost your brother and sister.
I looked for them too.
No, we had them.
Did you find their bodies?
Yeah.
Gideon
I'm
slams the table.
so glad you're alive. And you hear footsteps out in the hall. What's going on in here? There is a lot of people in my home. And you turn around to see a middle-aged woman, and she's got these blue eyes. She's got this this night coat on of this like a nice light blue cotton material, and her hair's tied up in a bun. And she's just got the wrinkles on her face that just suggest that she's laughed a lot in her lifetime. Just like crow's feet at the edges of her eyes and the creases between her nose or aside her mouth coming down from her nose. What's going on in here?
Well, what the hell happened?
Is that my boy? And she just slowly walks into the room and kneels down next to you. And she touches your face, like rubs back your hair. Oh, God, it is you. Oh, I'm so glad you're okay. And the three of you just are in an embrace. It's like the rest of them aren't there.
I think Elwyn takes this moment to try to sneak out the door anyways. Maybe move back to the kitchen area.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same.
You guys can leave uninterrupted, unnoticed. Now, Azariah, what are you up to?
Oh yeah, I'll
I'll
leave, but I can't like.
leave.
I'll join the
Nell
hug.
feels like
Yeah, just like,
Scoop them
isn't
all.
it great?
I love family.
No. Yeah, I'll flee. As I see Alwyn sneak out, I'll just follow behind. Less
Yeah.
sneaky because of the height.
Yeah, I think like as Nell heads out, she gives kind of like a curious look at what's happening here, and she definitely feels like something isn't right. So she's just kind of on her guard a little bit.
Gideon, is there anything you want to do?
Gideon basically tells his family what he's been up to for the last 9 years since he's last seen them. Yeah, he talks about how he was looking for them for like 6 years ish, and then just gave up, and then started doing merchant work, and happened upon this group here, and has been sort of out adventuring since, and was looking for them. And here we are.
Oh, you silly goof. We've been here the whole time. We don't know what happened, why you had to go up and leave, but I mean, aside from the weird tensions in this town, not much has changed.
That just doesn't seem right to me.
We didn't know what to do. We couldn't really just leave. We're not travelers.
No, but I don't know. It just doesn't add up.
Sorry, Gid.
It's all right. I just. I'm happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you, but I don't. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. It's rough. We're all dealing with it. Nobody wants to talk about it, but
Well, maybe people should. Do you remember what happened that day?
like I said, it was an earthquake. Destroyed a lot of the buildings in the town. But, you know, a lot of people disagree on what happened that day. And like I said, not a lot of people are wanting to talk about it. But, like, people have different stories. It doesn't make sense. Some say it was a star fell out of the sky. Some others said it was an army that came out of the woods. Like, with everything that happened, it seemed like everybody's experienced something different. And now people are talking about friggin' seceding. What are we gonna do? We couldn't protect us. They couldn't protect us. Maybe we gotta leave.
Maybe. Well, if you don't mind the heat, Starcross is nice.
And your mother chimes in. Well, it'd probably help with the aches in my knees.
Yeah. Well, the leader there's a fairly stand-up individual. And, well, yeah, it's in the middle of the desert, but they've got infinite water, so they're doing all right for themselves. Honestly, I think you should just get out of Balesville. This place is going to hell.
I mean, it's the logical choice, but unfortunately, this is what we are. And now that you're back, we could do things about it. We can get some semblance of normal back.
Well, here's the thing. I gotta help these people that I'm with here. The journey that they're on it's got some very, very large implications, and they're gonna need all the help they can get. And they're all smarter than me and stronger than me and quicker than I am, but well, I can at least give them something to ease the pain when they're not busy fighting or learning or anything like that. I can take care of them.
My Gid's a hero. You've always
I'm
been
trying.
You've always been brave.
But yeah, I can't stay long, but I promise I'll visit you. I'm so happy to see you.
And your mom leans in and kisses you on the forehead. I'm so happy you're alive.
Me too. I'm happy to see you.
Drac, what are you up to?
Hey. What's going on with this barn situation here?
So, you approach the barn, and the doors are open. The doors of the barn. And just peering inside. It's a wooden construction, like it's a weathered wood, like it's been around for some time. Looking inside, there are farmer's tools. There's like a scythe, a hoe. There are bundles of hay. And it looks like there were stalls in here for horses. But there aren't any.
Okay. My spell lasts for 10 minutes. Is there any evil and good in here?
Are you wandering into the barn?
Yeah, carefully.
You step inside, and the increasing light from outside that's beginning to disperse the fog kind of follows you into the space. It smells of the hay. You catch quick movement and little squeaks. A rat goes by. But you don't detect anything evil. But those eyes do feel like they're still there.
Just say out loud but quietly. I don't know who you are or what you want, but I don't appreciate being spied upon. I'll walk out of the barn.
As you walk out of the barn, several crows that had been perched up in the bars that go across the upper areas just kind of caw and sweep out of the barn after you, just kind of taking off into the sky.
Not so conspicuous, or inconspicuous, I should say. Alright, well, I guess I'll make my way around the other side of the house to the front. Go hang out with the horses.
Sure. As you're coming around the opposite side of the house, the side closest to you, you notice a bit of a disturbance of the earth. Even though it's kind of muddy in this area, it looks like somebody has kind of like buried something.
Take my spear and poke at it.
Hit something solid in the mud.
Okay, I'll use my spear to kind of try to push the mud out of the way. A makeshift shovel, I guess.
So as you're moving this earth, and it kind of begins like refilling in with rainwater that had been kind of pooling around it, you can see it looks like a pouch of some kind.
Okay. carefully reach down and grab it.
There's a weight to it. Feels like a coin purse.
Open it up.
It is indeed a coin purse.
All right. Guess I'll look around. Is there anybody around that might have lost a coin purse?
You do not get the sense that there was anybody wandering around that lost a coin purse.
Toss it up in the air, catch it. Well, a wise man once said, finders keepers. So I'll walk towards the horses with this coin purse in hand and slowly start counting it.
You may add 15 gold pieces to your person.
Hell yeah, dude.
Did you just steal from my dad?
I don't know.
How,
Just stole his life
does-
savings that he hides in the barn.
It was just out on the lawn, dude.
It's,
mine.
how does that factor into like the balance? Just out of curiosity, that like
Gotta balance those
Drac is
books.
so invested in by
You
making
better
them
not just steal from my
zero. Make the
Well,
books
I mean,
zero.
I did look to see if anyone around had lost a coin purse, so.
You're right. You really did all you could to ensure that the coin purse buried in front of this family.
Drac is alone
That
on
there
this
was no one
adventure.
there. Oh, I'm fully aware.
Little Nell angel on my shoulder.
This is me,
You didn't do
Christy,
that.
talking to you, Anthony, being like, sure.
What are the folks inside up to?
I'm eavesdropping for sure.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions, and something feels really fucked up. So
I want to just like look around, just like not like picking stuff up, but to see if this house looks like it's been like lived in recently. Like is it dusty? Like does it seem like people have actually been here? I just don't trust this stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
I'm good at that too. 9.
Sucks.
Hurry
you
up
not
and make me those
bad-
dice, Dallas, so I can just roll something.
Yeah, well,
You're just gonna load them so that they're always landing on 20s.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad Logan's getting the curse of the roll 20 die.
I've been rolling poorly all day too.
Yeah, but in my game, Denny's the one who rolls poorly.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, so looking about the place, there's like the house has clearly been through some repairs. Like there are wooden elements in the beamwork above, like holding the ceiling aloft, that are fresher wood than like say some of the walls, the floorboards. There are the furniture, some of it seems to be fairly new, like not centuries old hand-me-downs kind of thing, or decades old, I suppose is more realistic, but like things in this house have been replaced. So there is an element of newness to it, but you're not sure whether that's from reparations or a recent move-in.
The repairs, like wood elements and stuff, do they still look like fresh, or have they weathered with like? So it would be what, 9 years? Like, do they look like they've started to see some weathering?
Not with your investigation check. It's hard to discern.
I'll take a step outside. And just sort of. I'm just keeping my eyes on the horizon. Does this fog seem natural?
Make a nature check for me.
It's a good roll. 18.
Well, after the previous day's rain, and these farmlands are in a low-lying valley, it does seem like it would be a good place for fog to accumulate after a rainy storm.
I guess I'll walk over to Drac, as I presume he's over by the horses. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there, kind of chewing on some rations. I realize we skipped breakfast.
It seems his parents are alive.
Were they not? I'm confused.
I think we all are.
I didn't notice anything weird, other than some crows that were obviously watching me. By the way, which way did they fly off to?
They flew off in the direction of town.
You're so suspicious of birds now.
I was gonna say.
Fucking birds.
Do we still have that feeling of being watched?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That's
still
just
there.
a constant state kind of thing?
It feels like it, yeah.
Okay.
I also checked out the barn. It was a barn. The crows were in there, and then they flew off towards town.
Hmm.
I don't know, Abe.
Clearly we're not welcome.
Maybe not. But if Gideon's parents are alive, then that basically confirms that this place is messed up in some way. Because of course he looked around town first before he left, right?
I do not know.
I would hope so.
I'll just kind of keep an eye on the horizon in case we were
Right.
fallout or anything.
Absent-mindedly offer some rations to Abe, not realizing that he doesn't need to eat.
I just sort of look at you and like cock an eyebrow.
Right. Yeah, more for me.
I appreciate the gesture.
No problem. Just for the record, I don't think you're evil. I think there's something in you that may not align with everyone's point of view.
I feel like all of us have something like that.
Yes. Perhaps it's what brought us together.
A strange group in a strange place.
Certainly makes for an interesting story, don't you think?
So far.
No. I'll watch your back if you watch mine.
He just nods.
Give him a punch on his metal shoulder.
Abe's eyes like go red. He's like, "Come on,
It's go time!
You can all have inspiration. You've been doing well tonight, and that was very good. Also, very meta. I don't know, not meta in the sense of meta playing, but I was like, is this a reference to our story as a whole?
Drac looks at the camera.
Directly
Really
at the
makes for
camera.
a good story, eh? Everyone on Twitch.
Make sure to follow and subscribe.
Just wine and dine that subscribe button, you know.
Oh,
Don't smash it like most people say. Wine and dine it, you know. Take it out for a movie and a date. Go to a nice restaurant with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. All right, what are we doing?
I'm still just listening into this private conversation.
So, you probably heard a lot of what we just talked about. That the end, Gideon.
I'm just kind of like filing it away and tried to like match it to what Gideon has said, and just kind of seeing like where all the inconsistencies and the various stories lie. But I think there's also a part of me that like, well, I'm kind of like leaning against the wall, like I'm trying to like mentally connect with that presence I felt to see if like it could somehow give me like an insight to that, to feeling watched. Because I'm like, do I just always feel watched now because I know there's something in me? Or is there like a similarity between these feelings?
That's interesting. I'm going to have you make a charisma-based insight check.
What does this mean? I roll charisma.
Roll a charisma check. If you have proficiency in insight, add your proficiency bonus as well.
Okay. So just straight charisma. But for insight it's +4 instead of +3.
Oh, I see, because you're using charisma. Absolutely. So what's your total?
Did I do that right? I guess 13?
Okay. Kind of tuning into yourself, and trying to understand these energies, entities within you. You can get a sense that you're not exactly sure the nature of one half of what makes you you, but you don't get the sense that it's a thing that watches. It's more like something that just is you, but different. It's a different expectation of yourself. So that feeling, you think, shouldn't result in feel like being watched.
Weirdly, sorry, I choked on my own spit. I'm still choking. Weirdly, the concept that it's not external, like it's not something else, but that it's like truly more a part of me is actually like more upsetting than the opposite. So I think Nell just has kind of like 1,000-yard stare, just like what does that mean? Like, what is that?
Nothing like a crisis within a crisis.
I'm going through it today, guys. It's a rough morning.
Dang.
Elo and Azariah, what are you up to?
I think Elowen has also had a morning. Just being woken up to Gideon leaving, and then she gets here and gets called a child by this man, and then she watches Gideon reunite with his family, and you know, her mother died not too long ago. She's never had a father, and I think she's kind of just like, she's pretending to do what Rhea is doing, but she's kind of just like staring. She's like in the kitchen, she's just kind of staring at stuff and pretending that she's investigating, but I think she's just kind of in her own head.
At this point, I'm just waiting for Gideon to be ready to head out.
Going back to the room with Gideon and his two parents.
Yeah, so Gideon just finished saying like he does have to go, and why he has to go, and then he says, I'm also gonna try and figure out exactly what happened here. I think the fact that numerous people have different stories doesn't make any sense. And I need to find out what happened here. For the sake of Quentin and Pearl, I need to know what happened.
If anybody can do it, it'll be you. Well, if you're not going to stick around, I did make an investment a little while back, but do you still have that pistol I gave you?
Yeah, I do.
How do you find it?
Works great. I mean, it jams here and there. It seems to be always at an inopportune time, but... And, I guess that's just life and at the end of the day. But I can always fix it.
Well, that's good. Unfortunately, I'm not that good. So, since apparently you're able to fix them now, hold on, I'll be right back. And everybody outside, you see him like walk across the hall from the one bedroom into the other one, and then him crossing back with what looks like a staff of some kind. And Gideon, your father, comes into the room with a rifle. Well, I figured with things getting weird, might need some defense, but I broke it. So if you can fix it, you can keep it.
Sure thing. Thank you. I'll see what I can do.
I figure I'll
do you
probably...
at least...
well,
do you have a new one?
Well, I figure I probably shouldn't spend it all on another one if I'm just going to break them, so I reckon a hatchet or a pitchfork will do me just fine.
Here, I'll tell you what. I got a pair of swords that I'm sure you can make use of. I don't feel comfortable with you not having any kind of defense. You can take one of my swords.
Which I currently have.
My friend Drak has them. He's the Dragonborn.
Oh, I guess he didn't come this morning because we didn't see him.
Well, that was nice of him. So much for best roommate. Alright, well, I'll see if I can find him. I'm sure he's here somewhere. He's probably poking around where he should be.
You don't have to do that, Gid. We'll be fine.
Just for my sake and for your sake, you can take one, okay? It'll make me just a little less worried about you.
Well, what would make me feel a little less worried about you is if you kept a bucket of water handy to get the inevitable mud out of that thing.
Oh, I can take care of that. It's just gonna take some time.
Well, what I'm worried about is the lack of reassurance that you keep falling into mud puddles.
Well, look, it's not every day you reunite with your father after 9 years, okay?
And you just kind of...
Especially after you thought they were dead.
Pat you on the shoulder. Your mother looks a little perturbed about, like, the weapons talk. But once it kind of brings back around to this, she gets that weak smile on her face. Did your father offer them tea?
Dad, did you offer them tea?
She looks to him. I did. I don't actually think I got around to it. Though I did. You know what? That's a good point. He pokes his head out the door. Did y'all still want tea?
Sure.
Nell was fully kind of like looking into the bedroom he left, like their bedroom, and she's like, so, yeah, if it's not a hassle.
Yeah, their bedroom looks like it has like a double bed, like a chest, a stand-up closet, and oh dear, like a wardrobe, and a few small knickknacks that adorn a side table. Well, all right, I'll come out here and get that tea prepped. Or he turns around to Tara, which is Gideon's mother's name. Do you, or would you? Yes, I'll make the tea. You weren't very good at it. Thank you, dear. And
Gideon stands up and goes to walk into the main room.
And your father stands up with you and follows you out.
Thanks for looking for me. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I got here, but I did. But thank you. And have any of you seen Drak?
He's around.
He's outside.
Maybe just
All
watching
right.
the horses or something.
He's a strange fella, isn't he?
I
You're
mean,
always thinking Abe was strange. Drak proved me wrong.
based on
What did I
my
do?
based on my experience in the world so far, I think we're all strange. It's all bad.
It's not all bad, but you are right. We are all strange in our own way. There's a lot of good present.
Good and strange. I like it.
Yeah. Well, after this tea, we should be ready to get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Mrs. Gray whips out some teacups and saucers out of a seems like a cupboard that really doesn't get touched all that much. And
Gideon helps his mother make tea.
and she tells you to get the sugar and some spoons. And she preps the water and goes and gets some. Walks outside and gets some herbs out of a nearby garden. And anybody who wants the tea ends up having some nice tea in the morning.
I think Elowen leaves and goes outside and wanders around as well.
At this point, the sun has crept over the horizon quite a good bit, and the fog surrounding this house has begun to just burn away. And you can see that the terrain all around here is just hills upon hills of farmland. The forest and the town up the hill to your north. And far to your south, mountain ranges, a construction that snakes across the land, heading back the way you had come. And off in the far distance, these pillars of stone that reach to the sky. So what is your plan?
I think I'll present that to Gideon more than anyone else. Where is it that you want to go from here? Because if it were me, I'd want answers. But if you just want to move on to something else for now, I can understand that too.
I do want answers. But, well, if the past day has taught me anything, answers tend to be where you at least think they're gonna be. So, we had a purpose coming through here. And I still want to help you with that. And I think, who knows? Maybe we'll find something. I don't think we're gonna find much here. Like my father said, everybody here either doesn't know what happened that day or has a different weird excuse that makes no sense. So I think the best place to look is elsewhere.
Sounds like a good plan.
Where is this
Before
conversation
leaving.
taking place? Is this inside the house?
It's in the kitchen.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm not there. Cool.
After finishing my tea and before heading out, Mr. and Mrs. Gray, I just want to ask something before heading out. Have you heard anyone in the town, any whispers or stuff of someone, or the phrase, "May the midnight sun rise"? While I ask him, trying to look to see if there's any reaction on their face to that.
Right. Go ahead and make an insight check.
All right,
Can I
get ready
help?
for that low roll. 23.
Let's go.
There you go.
No, can't reckon that. I'm familiar with the phrase. But you know they're lying.
Son of a bitch.
Fuck.
Bro.
It's all happening.
Up here.
It's too much.
Nothing about them they don't they're
Not-
keeping whatever kind of, or trying to keep whatever composure they had, and
If
they're not trying to let it show or anything.
based on their reaction, anybody would have bought it off. But they waited a second too long. That gave you the slight hint.
And then after finishing, I was like, friends, we should leave them to their farm work.
You can always write home to us, Gid, if you know where we'll be.
I will. I promise.
Take care, son.
You too. And please stay safe. Don't get tied up in whatever's going on here.
You stay safe too. Wherever you're going, whatever you're doing.
Well, I got these folks to help me if it's not safe, so I'm more worried about you. And Gideon tips his hat. Goes in for a hug.
And your dad takes you in, just holds you a while. And then your mother just kind of slaps his face. And he's like, oh, sorry. And she gets in on a hug as well. And she just
Big old
kind of,
family group hug.
just tears causing the shoulder of your vest to kind of get just wet.
Yeah.
She softly sobs.
I think this is where Nell leaves. It's too much to see that. So
Yeah. Gideon then he says, until next time. Goodbye. And I love you. And he walks out the door.
Love you too, kid. We love you very much. And they close the door behind you. And the sun, coming over the horizon, causes these fields of wheat and corn to just shine golden, glistening with the dew of the previous night's rain. And new paths lie ahead. That's where we'll end tonight's session.
gang, I gotta know what's happening in this fucking city.
Yeah.
My parents are in a cult. Fuck.
Yes, someone needs to remind me next session. Tell Gideon his parents are in the cult.
Nope, it's gonna be forgotten and I'm gonna get away with it.
No, I'm writing it down. Don't you even fret.
Yeah. I'm changing my name on my character sheet. Tell Gideon the news. It's the only thing I remember to look at.
Oh, that was a session, man.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight for this. Holy cow, what a roller coaster. Oh, I am so privileged to be here with you players. You are amazing people. Folks, follow them on social media. It's coming up in the chat now. Do it. Click, love, subscribe, and follow. These people are great. Oh, wow.
Y'all, I think Good and Strange? Good Strangers? Not a bad party name.
Hey,
Not
getting
a
the
bad
strange.
party name.
We're getting there.
I'm spitballing. We got options, you know?
Yeah.
Sir Duke with the your parents are in a cult. Don't forget it.
Gideon
you,
doesn't
dude.
know yet.
We need that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. Hey, Gideon, you remember how happy
By
you
the
were
way.
just a few seconds ago?
you know what's great about all this, and this is kind of an announcement. Unfortunately, next Play Dicely is actually going to be a pre-recorded episode because schedules, summertime, nature of people's work, we're not going to be all able to get together on the same day. So unfortunately, and hilariously enough, we're going to be missing Ryan. But my goal was kind of to get us to that hump over Balesville. So I feel like we can still traverse forward, but
He'll just be
Azariah
in
and
a
Gideon.
stupor from the moment you tell
Yeah.
him his parents are in
He
a
just
cult
goes
until the next session.
Yeah, it's just
He
like,
goes to and has a very long nap.
You tell him,
He
and
needs
he is
it.
in shock for however many days the next episode happens in.
Maybe you're reluctant to shatter his happiness immediately.
Nope.
Nell is on the precipice.
As we contemplate this psychology of
cold
how this will work
savagery.
out, that'll come up in the roleplay. But my gosh, guys, thank you so much. This was
Thank you.
an
Thank
amazing
you,
session.
Denny.
Thank you.
no,
Thank
thank
you,
you
Danny.
for having me as part of this.
Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this and letting me experiment.
Oh, I suppose I also should have changed to this scene. Well, brilliant.
Right there.
We figured
on the
out-
chat. Parents are in a cult. Don't forget it.
That's right.
Wow, I can't. It's like got such a good ring for an episode name, but I can't name it that.
You could.
Oh God. Oh.
They don't know
Well, no, the
whose
next one
parents.
could be that, and that's reminding everyone.
Yeah.
The next episode, like, parents are in a cult. Don't forget it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
The
I
cult
mean, I like
thing.
that.
Is there anything anybody wants to say before we log off here? You know what? I do have one thing. I haven't mentioned this in previous episodes before, but just for anybody who's curious, like, I do check in with these guys after sessions to make sure we're all good, like, all the content is, like, everybody's feeling safe and all that, because that is top priority for me. And, like, we are dealing with heavy shit in these episodes. Like, my gosh. It's amazing. Like, that's what I do after every session. I just gotta do a heavy sigh.
Big old.
Yeah, like a karate chop as opposed to a sigh. I pull a Drac.
Punch wizard.
He casts fist.
All right, well, we better let you all go. This has been a great night.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
all again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we are pre-recorded, and then all of August should be hopefully live. Thank you, Sir Duke, and thank you, everybody. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. Until then, play Dicely. Bye.
See ya.